Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Infamous. Good morning, Vash. Good morning, Norma Murray. Good morning, Manders. Good morning, is Arculi. Good morning, sorry. Good morning, One Mighty Pen. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everyone is having a happy and wonderful Tuesday morning. All right, we're getting everybody in the building. All right, all right. Over on TikTok, good morning, good morning, good morning, Brad. Good morning, Venus. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Sweet. Santana, you want to watch Bad River? I don't know what Bad Rivers is. Jacqueline, good morning. Bestie, good morning. Daniel, good morning. I've never heard of Bad Rivers. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Heidi, good morning. Victoria, good morning. Guys, as we get in, if you don't mind, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. We are going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. We're going to get to some debates. So tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. We are going to get active. Shout out to Instagram as well. Instagram has been going off. If you guys aren't following me yet on Instagram, please go ahead and do so. Like I have, we've added like over 7,000 people on Instagram over the last week, which is wild. And even more than adding 7,000 people, got some pretty dope people that end up hitting that follow button. I got some pretty dope people that end up on mutuals now. With Darius Ruckus. Not Ruckus, Darius Rucker. And J.R. Smith. I think that's pretty dope. Nigeria said Republicans are the ones helping our country. Wrong. Getting a request. You just don't know shit. W's in the chat for all the wonderful people. Yeah, Hootie. Absolutely, Hootie. Hey, Taylor. What up, Taylor? Thank you so much for the galaxy. Guys, as we get in, if you don't mind, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Also, if you are over on TikTok, if you can knock out the pink heart puffs, please knock out the pink heart puffs. It will help push the live out to the FYP. Also, if you can share the live to your stories and your FYP, it'll help boost the live as well. All right. Let's see. When you guys do send your daily heart me and you, send your or make any comment in the actual comment section, make sure you go back in and collect your points, please. That adds you to the team, that boosts the live as well. Like all of these little things actually make a big difference when it comes to the live, protecting the live, pushing the live out, getting more people in here. Like all of these active things helps, right? So let's do that. Please. Let's get the likes up. Who said they're level 23? Abby is level 23. Let's fucking go. Abby's level 23. What's FYP? It's the For You page. Hey, Reese, how are you? Republicans aren't. Oh, you said Republicans aren't. Hey, Ellie, how are you? Let's see here. Miss Bellicella. Hey, Miss Bellicella. Shy Guy, I see you. Hold on, what did that say? Just say, oh, okay, Vash. You said check your DMs. Okay, all right. W's in the chat. What up, Kel? What up, Joanna? Good morning, Swan. What up, Swan? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. If you don't mind, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live, push us out to the FYP. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to the little 1 cent gift goal. If we can knock those out a couple of times, that'll boost the live as well. Where are you? And let's do the heart puffs. Love the heart puffs. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. If you look up at the top underneath where it says Santana Speaks for You, it'll show you like how many people are watching and all that other stuff. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. That'll help push the VOD out as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick this thing off.
Yeah, funny how it changed now. Same people that laughed at clips, studying the clips now. Everybody got opinions till the facts land. Everybody loud till they gotta take a stand. Every stream feel like somebody betting they pride. I seen fake scholars fold in real time. Now they screenshot takes, run around and remix it, and pull up thinking somehow they can fix it. Nah, you stepped in the wrong room, donut. This ain't rage bait, this pressure. Patriarchy, race, class, labor, healthcare. I don't do surface level, I peel layers. And every time they think they got me cornered, numbers go higher. Chat flyer mods working, crowd waiting. Somebody finna get cooked tonight. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah. You talk big till the facts come out. Slap nuts, sit down. Oh. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah. Got the whole chat screaming when the logic break down. Yeah. Welcome to the ring now. You ain't built for this smoke. Y'all slap nuts ain't got milk for these hoes. So pipe down. Yeah. You might drown. You don't want war with the king right now. I don't debate for applause, I debate for the record. Every false claim get dissected and severed. You rehearse outrage, I study the structure. Difference between noise and somebody with substance. You quote tweets, I quote policy. You want moments, I want honesty. You want ego boost and virality. I want mutual aid and stronger communities. That's the difference between you and me. See the problem? Different type timing. You came for clips, I came for alignment. Capital this, socialism that. Half these dudes can't define what they yelling in caps. Talking about free market while wages collapse. I watch your pivot arrive, I make it visible live. But this ain't never gonna be a place where evidence dies. You came all the way to be Santana for internet rep, while the whole chat waiting to see who got checked. Next, welcome to the ring now. Yeah. You talk big till the facts come out. Slap nuts, sit down. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah. Got the whole chat screaming when the logic break down. Yeah. Welcome to the ring now. You ain't built for this smoke. Y'all slap nuts ain't got milk for these oats. Donuts, so pipe down. Pipe down. You might drown. You don't want war with the king right now. Yeah. Welcome to Sparring with Santana.
Welcome.
Bring your sources, please. Or bring excuses, whatever. Doesn't really matter either way. You're about to get cooked. You should know who I am by now.
You should. But if you don't know, don't worry, I got you. If you don't know, don't worry, I got you. Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters or anyone that disagrees with anything on the background. I am Santana. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, do all the wonderful things, right? Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP again. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1 cent gift goals. If we can knock those out a couple of times, that'll help boost the live as well. Guys, America, it's time to unpack. It's time to unpack. And I hope that we can have fruitful conversations today because it's necessary. First and foremost, men, we are the problem. We are absolutely the problem. We got to unpack that. I'm currently reading Feminism is for Everybody And which I love bell hooks. Like bell hooks is officially, I don't know who I love more, bell hooks or Angela Davis. But those are W's in the chat. Thank you so much for the money gun. Bell hooks and Angela Davis is two of my favorite authors. And I think it may be bell hooks is my favorite. But Angela Davis is, I got to read more of her stuff because anyway, yeah, man, we are the problem. And I think that we need to unpack that, and we could talk about it. Republicans, you guys hate our country. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And it's super interesting that you guys hate our country, hate the people in our country, hate the people that come to our country, and hell, even hate yourself. That's so weird. That's so weird. But we'll talk about it. Capitalists, your system does not work. No, it's not beneficial. And FYI, if you come up here to debate that, please be prepared to tell us how capitalism works for everyone, because that's the problem. It doesn't. We got to unpack that. Next, white people. Racism is your problem. Full stop. I don't feel like I need to actually explain that. If you disagree, let's talk about it. But holy smokes, it's more evident now than ever. Last but not least, Christians, the Bible is slavery. And I want to be clear, I'm not talking actual slavery. I'm not talking chattel slavery. I'm not talking like slavery that we see it existing today. So if you are planning on coming up here and being pedantic, I will kick you. Period. Nigeria, you've been yip yapping in the comment section since I got here, and I don't care about what you're saying anymore. You're muted. You're muted. If you want to speak, you got to get in the box. Like I'm over whatever's happening down in the comment section. So there's that. Anyway, only request up. If you are a Trump supporter, we are only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. Oh, also, for the weird trolls, I don't give a fuck about your trolling. I don't. If you're going to come up here and splash and you're just going to say like random weird shit, I will make you debate. I don't care about you trying to troll. You're not going to get a reaction out of me, and I'm not going to kick you for splashing in the bathtub. I don't care. Oh, not some of you leaving a request. I don't care about you actually doing like the random weirdo shit. Like none of that matters to me. I want to debate. Not you guys leaving when I say I don't care about the random troll shit. That's funny. Whatever. I'm just letting you know, just so, you know, when we get here from the start, you guys don't think that like you splashing in the bathtub is going to make me kick you. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yeah, I disagree with the capitalist subject there.
Okay. And is it okay if I call you Space? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Perfect. Space, the floor is yours. Tell me, why do you disagree with the premise that capitalists, your system does not work?
Yeah, I don't think any economic system that we've used thus far works. As far as like, it would depend on what your definition of working is. I think ideally, if everyone behaved in a way that is ideal for others, I think probably socialism or communism would probably be the best way to go. But I think due to our nature, I don't think that we can ever create some socialist or communist society without there being some imbalance of power that's like really weighted towards whoever has the ability to make choices in those communities. So I think capitalism is the only way that we can function as a society with some sort of fairness due to our nature.
Okay. So it kind of seems like you don't necessarily disagree. You're kind of saying a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I just want to, I guess, baseline a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm talking about the way that capitalism functions in our society today, not theoretically, not, the different types of capitalism. I understand all those things. I'm talking about as we see it today, August the 11th, 2026 in the United States of America. I'm talking about the way that it exists today. And I do think that there's other systems that are more preferable than capitalism. I think communism is optimal for our country as a whole, but I'm talking about the premises capitalism working for everyday Americans today. So do you agree or disagree with that premise that it does not work for everyday Americans today?
Yeah, I think it works. I think it works on average. Yeah, I think there's going to be like obviously like a section of people that are that they don't have the kinds of benefits that like the average American might, right? But I think when you just look at whatever our baseline of survival is, right, we're going to need food, shelter, and some sort of community. I think on average, yeah, I think that's probably satisfied for the most part.
Okay. All right. So if you think on average it works for everyday Americans, then and you spoke to like the basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy, right? Do you think that normal everyday Americans have all of their basic needs met?
I think that I mean it depends when you say on average. Are you just saying like more than 50%?
Yeah, I'm talking about the majority. Well, not 50%. I'm talking about the majority of Americans. Do they have their basic needs met?
I would say that if you were asking me what the majority is, I'd probably say no. I don't think that all three of those needs are going to be met by the majority, but I think that's just always been the case, like in the history of man. Like we've always had that imbalance. I think that's just true of any social system.
No, I mean, because if you take a look at how the systems were prior to engaging with capitalism, especially like systems of communal living, there was an absolute fulfillment of needs, basic needs, right? But I guess the point that I'm trying to focus in on is if we live in a society, I think you and I can agree that the United States of America, as of today, is the richest country on earth.
Yeah, sure.
We can also agree that it has the largest GDP on earth.
Yeah.
And so with living in the richest country on earth with the largest GDP on earth, we have the ability to ensure basic needs for all Americans. And since we have the ability to ensure basic needs for all Americans, we shouldn't have over the last 30 years, from 1999, no, it's not 30 years yet, but just about almost 30 years. We've seen an increase in deaths due to malnourishment, right? We see the poverty level increasing. We see the wealth gap increasing. All of these things speak to the fact that our country as a whole, the ultra wealthy are doing way better, right? Our economy is booming, but the everyday Americans aren't able to actually make it anymore. Hell, inflation is currently outpacing the increase that we see in income, right? I mean, the cost of living is increased so much that like it's outpacing the fact that Americans are making more money today than they ever have before, but still having less spending power speaks to the problem that I'm referring to. So when I say like basic needs, it's such an imbalance as far as the country that we live in, that we have an abundance in so many aspects, but there's so many people going without.
I'd probably tend to agree that, yeah, I can see that there are a lot of people going without that. My question would be that, would you think that there could be adjustments to be made to capitalism? For example, like I think UBI would be a great way to kind of just mitigate those needs, right? Like if we proved it when COVID was happening that we can do it. Let's say like every American got a stipend of like, maybe enough money to pay their rent and food every month, right? Let's say like, I don't know, some stipend of like $2,000 a month. And every American was able to get that, right? And with that, they would get their basic needs met. What would be your issue with capitalism then?
It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? I do think that UBI it could be beneficial in the short term system, and that's just overall because of the way that I think that like, capitalism isn't beneficial to the whole. And again, I think even though I'm not a communist, I think communism is the ultimate for all of America. But having UBI would see like a slowing of the issues that we currently see with capitalism. See, the biggest problem that I have with capitalism within the United States of America is not that it's doing something that it shouldn't do, because this is what capitalism is set to do. But in the United States of America, we're seeing a like them speed run capitalism, right? The exploitation of resources and people and ideas and all these things, they're just speeding through all of those things, right? So if you did something like implement UBI, I mean, I think that would help in the short term. But then we would have to actually, in parallel, make sure that we're putting in different regulations to stop like price gouging. We would have to ensure that these companies are being taxed appropriately, and they're not trying to use like UBI as just incentive offsets, right? Saying, well, we're not going to offer you this amount of money because you already get access to UBI, or like all these other things. So that would be a bunch of different things that need to be put in place in order to actually ensure that UBI is beneficial. But at the same time, we would have to make sure that we actually know that it's still coming, right? The actual premise of what's going on with capitalism is actually coming. Space, can you give me 1 second? So we have Joe over on YouTube. Joe has come back to actually be racist and to be fat phobic and to be weird. And Joe, at this point, I'm just tired of like you doing this every day. Joe, I don't have you actually muted. I have you here on YouTube. Would you like to actually engage in good debate, like in earnest, or are you just set to come back every day to try to get attention?
So you want to debate now?
I don't know, Joe. I'm just saying, like, you're a grown man, and this is weird. You don't think that you coming here is like, you don't think what you're doing is weird?
Why would I care about your feelings?
I'm not talking about my feelings. I'm talking about you. This seems unhealthy for you.
Again, why would I care about your feelings?
These aren't my feelings. I'm talking about you. You're obsessing with me. So
You're having an emotional crash out, bro.
Is there something that you actually want to debate, Joe?
Yeah, your entire worldview is built off the oppressor versus oppressed narrative. Is there a reason I should buy that bullshit?
Joe, I don't. Hold on 1 second, Joe. There's something going on with your mic. It's kind of like your quality. It sounds like there's something in the background, and you sound kind of muffled. Is there any way that you can adjust that?
Let's see.
It sounds like there's a saw or something like off in the distance.
Is that better?
Yeah, say something else.
Is that better?
It's not great, but I can hear you. You can go ahead. It just sounds like, one, there's a saw in the background, and it sounds like there's something covering your mic.
So if I reject your oppressor versus oppressed narrative and complete mythology in my mind, where would you have to make your argument from?
I don't care as far as what you actually reject. I care about what you can actually prove.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm providing to you, my friend.
No, because I can prove the things that I speak to when I talk about the implications of society when it comes to, Black people, women, the queer community, all of these actual tangible negative things that are occurring to these different groups. I can prove those. So you just saying that you reject it does not mean that it doesn't still exist.
So your entire worldview is built up of oppressor versus oppressed narrative that does not exist. So you would have to prove me that their oppressor versus oppressed exists before I buy into your worldview.
I don't need you to buy into my worldview, Joe. That's the confusing part. You don't have to buy into the premise of medical racism. It exists. You don't have to buy into the premise of transphobia. It exists. You don't have to buy into like women being raped and killed at a disproportionate rate across all races. It exists. You don't have to buy into those things. They're like, it actually exists. So I'm still confused as far as what you're referring to as like rejecting my worldview. You can reject how you feel. You can't reject empirics.
You saying something exists doesn't make it true. Get that?
Okay. So what did I say that exists that you think is not true?
All of it.
Can you pick one specific and we'll take a look at it?
I guess go with it again because all of it was nonsense. Just go with one.
Okay. The racism, just broad spectrum. The effects of the queer community is currently actually seeing, whether it's the attack on.
Didn't you just start with racism? What does that have to do with the queer community?
No, I'm saying that there's different groups that I speak on and the different ways that they are being affected. So that's why I'm listing out the multitude of groups and the things that we can speak on.
Okay.
I was really just trying to give you whatever options. I wanted to give you like a wide breadth of options so you can make a decision.
I'd give you your entire worldview is built off of oppressor versus oppressed, which is complete nonsense. So you're going to have to prove that your oppressor versus oppressed narrative worldview actually exists for me to argue or agree with your worldview. Because I don't know, your view of racism is based off of oppressor versus oppressed, which I don't see any reason why I should view that as credible.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say this one more time, Joe. I don't care if you accept my worldview or not. I'm talking about empirics, but let's do it. So, Joe, redlining, is that a thing today?
No,
Okay. When was the last time that any of the major banks were successfully sued for redlining?
I guess I don't know.
Okay. So Wells Fargo and Bank of America were both successfully sued in 2025 for redlining, and Navy Federal Credit Union, as of June this year, just settled their suit paying out for redlining. They didn't have to admit any wrongdoing, but they did have to pay a settlement for redlining. So
You saying sued and redlining 2025 isn't very specific on what's going on. That doesn't give me any information, so I pretty much outright reject your the thing
I'm
you
confused as
get.
far as what you're saying. Say it
So
one more time. I didn't understand you.
would you be able to give me specifics, or all you're going to be able to do is say redline 2025 banks reject? Is that all you're able to do? Can you give me specifics about it, or?
I'm telling you that you can go look at the court cases. The two of the largest banks within the United States of America, Wells Fargo and Navy Federal Credit. I'm sorry, Wells Fargo and Bank of America were both successfully sued for redlining, which is a racial discrimination practice. And Navy Federal Credit Union, as of June 2026, actually settled their suit, which again, they did not have to admit wrongdoing, but they actually had to pay out money for what the practices that they were engaging in. So if you want to actually look,
You're giving me no information. You're giving me no. You're the one bringing up. You're bringing up the case course, though. Since you have the information.
Joe, I'm still speaking. So if you want to see the actual details of each case, you can go look it up. But the point that I'm trying to make is that while you think that redlining doesn't exist, I'm saying there has been successful litigation of redlining as of 2025 and 2026. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
And I outright reject that because you saying redlining 2025 court case doesn't give me any substantial evidence. I'm asking for you to give me specifics about the court case.
Okay. Again, Joe, you're rejecting actual information I'm giving you that you can go look up.
You're not giving me information. You're talking about a court case that you can't give me any information about. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
Why do I have to give you specifics of a court case that you can look up and that's already been litigated and was successfully litigated, finding that these actual banks were participating in redlining? Why do I have to tell you the specifics of the case?
Why do you have to bring up the specifics about a case that you're offering as an argument? That's your question. I thought that was pretty obvious. So
do you think that I brought up the cases to debate the specifics or to show you that, because the original question was, when was the last time major banks were successfully sued for redlining? And I brought up the actual banks and timeframes. So
I'm asking you about the specific cases. I don't really care about. Yes, Joe, you can talk about the specific cases. That doesn't negate the fact. Well, then I outright reject these cases if you can't. If you can't give me any specifics about the cases, then I don't really care what you're even talking about, because you really don't know what you're talking about yourself.
Whether you or not accept the actual specifics of the case does not negate that the cases were litigated.
You didn't give me specifics of the case.
I don't have to, Joe. That's the point that you're missing.
Why would you not have to if you're using the case as an argument?
Because the suit was based off of redlining. The reason why Navy Federal Credit Union, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo were sued was because of redlining. And
so this case that you can't give me specifics about?
Because they were sued for redlining and they were successfully sued for redlining, that proves the point. I'm not litigating the actual
off of this case that you can't give me specifics about. So why would I accept this case that you can't give me specifics about for your argument. That's not really, that's pretty bad faith, I would say.
Joe, I think you are confused as far as one, how debates work, two, how actual like proving something works.
So now
Because
we're moving to ad hominems.
if I would have made, well, that's not an ad hominem. I'm actually
It's
just
Caribbean.
if you're confused as far as what's happening here.
So now
Joe,
you're reverting to ad hominem. I don't
Joe,
know
I'm
why
going
you
to
have
my
to do
sentence,
that.
okay? Joe,
Okay,
I don't want to mute you. I would love to actually continue to talk, but you keep interrupting me. The point that I'm trying to get across is I didn't make a claim about the specifics that are inside of the case. The claim was that these three banks, three major banks within the United States of America were actually successfully sued for redlining. And so the burden lies into actually proving when and who was actually sued and successfully sued for redlining. And that's why I cited 2025 for Bank of America and Wells Fargo, and 2026, June of 2026, for Navy Federal Credit Union and the settlement that they had. So I'm not disputing whether or not the actual details, what was happening. I'm only saying that they were actually successfully sued for redlining. So if you have an issue with what I'm bringing up, then okay, we can talk about whether they were or were not successfully sued. But I'm not making any claims about the specifics within the case. So you saying that you reject that does not actually mean anything, because I proved that there are three major banks within the United States of America that have been successfully sued for redlining.
of which you can't give me the specifics off, so I really don't really care about the court case.
Okay, Joe, I'm not sure what you think you're doing with that reply. That still doesn't negate anything. I think we're going in circles and you're being pedantic. Like I said, if you want the specifics of the court case,
the code you want to go with, that's fine.
at your
Please go get the specifics of the court case so we can go through it.
No, I'm not going to go get the specifics of the court case to go through them.
Well,
Why?
Then I don't really care about the argument. It's not really an argument.
If you can give me an actual valid reason why we need to go look at the specifics of the court case, then I would be willing to do it.
Because the court case is your entire argument.
That's not an actual valid reason to go through the specifics of the court case.
Okay, so you using a court case is not a valid reason to go through the specifics of the court case, and that is why?
Joe, can you please remind me one more time why I brought up the court cases?
Because you wanted to try to prove redlining, which I'm highly questioning, which is why I'm asking about the court cases. Okay,
so are you questioning that they were actually successfully sued for redlining, or are you questioning the details that were proven in the case, just to verify?
I'm questioning the entire court case because I don't know anything what you're talking about. They could be talking about somebody being.
That's not a me problem.
They could.
Joe, I need to understand which one you're really trying to get to, because if you're trying to, if you're questioning whether these actual court cases happen, then sure, I can go get the exact court case number for you. But if you're questioning whether there was like justification, whether there was enough evidence, the things like that, then
I want to know who brought the court case, what the issue was, what was going on. There's specifics to the court case that you don't just go.
That's not on me to prove to you, Joe.
Why?
Because I've never made a claim about the actual specifics of the court case. The claim was that in specifics of the court case
would be totally reliant on your argument.
Joe, the claim was that Bank of America and Wells Fargo were successfully sued for redlining, and Navy Federal Credit Union would settle their
reason why you don't want to talk about the specifics
for redlining. So the point being, if you
don't want to talk about the specifics,
Joe, I'm going to finish my sentence. If you want proof that those things actually happen, I would be more than happy to give you the specific court case. But if you're trying to go through if you want to go through the actual, the actual suit, the details, the abstract, the evidence, all this other stuff, that's something that you have to do on your own time, because that has nothing to do with the actual claim.
It would be everything to do with your claim, because it's built off your entire argument. if it's complete nonsense, if it's like, they're suing because of redlining fucking 40 years ago, that would be completely detrimental to your argument.
The redlining isn't based off of 40 years ago. The redlining is based off of recent history. That's why the lawsuit
How do we
is.
know that? We can't go through the court. We can't go through the suit because you don't want to.
I didn't bring up redlining cases from 40 years ago, which there are, because
Never
we're not
said
talking
we did.
40 years ago. We're talking about present day. Joe,
Why would
I
this case not be able to be from 48 years ago?
Okay. Joe, you came up here, like, again, you come here every day, and I never actually talk to you. You just actually spam. Yes, every day. You spam in the private chat because you're weirdly obsessed with me, and I'm giving you the debate that you said that you want. Instead of actually engaging in the debate, I'm not sure that you know how debates work, but you're not actually engaging in the debate. You saying that I want
You're the one reverting to
you saying
you don't know how to debate, dude. You don't know how to debate. You have a debate show and you don't even know how to debate. I'm asking you about specifics about a court case you bring up.
Joe, I took you off screen for a second because I need you to hear me. You actually saying that I disagree with the specifics of the court case and actually wanting me to go through each line of the court case has nothing to do with the actual debate. So, Joe, I would like for you to engage. If you reject redlining, then I can prove the case. But if you don't reject redlining, I'm sorry, if you actually reject the specifics of the case, that has nothing to do with whether the case was properly litigated or not. So if you have, like, if you're saying that you think some of the actual details were wrong, that's not on me or you to try to dispute. That was done in the court of law. Joe, you're back.
I never said the case was incorrect or correct. I will ask, what was the case about? And you can't give me about it. And you can't give me any specifics about it. What?
What was the case about? The case was about redlining.
Specifically what? That's very generic, bro.
Specifically, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal Credit Union, and Bank of America were found to have engaged in racial discrimination practices against non-white people when it came to lending, whether it's home loans, business loans, or student loans. All of those things were covered.
And this evidence was presented as?
It's in the case.
Oh, so you can't provide the evidence that you're using as your argument. So that's kind of the issue I'm having.
No, Joe, you're having an issue because you're rejecting an actual claim that was made and proven, because you somehow think that, like, going line by line through to relitigate the case will somehow make your point when it won't. So, Joe,
if it won't make my point, why don't you just go through the case?
Joe, do you have a valid reason? Joe, do you have a valid reason of not accepting the ruling of
because I don't know the specifics of the case, so I can't really say anything about it.
You don't know does not mean that there's a valid reason, Joe.
I don't know the specifics of the case, so that's really ridiculous.
Joe, I don't know how planes actually fly. That doesn't mean that I can reject that planes fly. That's not how.
We're not talking about airplanes.
Yeah, I'm giving you an analogy, Joe.
Airplanes in a court case aren't at all similar, so that's pretty ridiculous.
You know what an analogy is, Joe?
Yeah, it's a poor analogy. You know what a poor analogy is, Santana.
Okay. Joe, this is your last opportunity. You really, really wanted this. Again, you're really upset.
Opportunity for what?
I'm trying to give you the ability to engage, but you're not doing so.
What opportunity am I getting?
You're wasting your shot, and you're wasting my time. If you don't engage, I'm just going to move off of this, and you can keep doing the weirdo obsessive stuff where you come in here every single day and put
all your racist baddies
in the private chat and get no. I gave you you're calling me a racist. Sure. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that this seems unhelpful.
Why do you keep blocking me and freaking get as why don't you get a treadmill?
Now you're muted, Joe. Because the point that I'm making is you're weirdly obsessed with me. And I think that giving you the opportunity to actually, what you said you want to debate, that's what I've been trying to do, but you don't want to engage. And even more than not wanting to engage, you're going back to the weird stuff. So, Joe, I'm going to give you a chance one more time. do you have a valid reason to reject the actual court cases? And FYI, saying you don't know the specifics is not a reason to reject the court cases, because this was litigated in the court of law. You're unmuted, Joe. Do you have a valid reason? Joe, you're unmuted.
Oh, hello? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That's
I
because
can
I
hear
don't
you.
know the specifics of the court case, but I can't really, I don't really even know where to go from it. Like, I would like to know the specifics of the court case. I don't know why that's such a huge issue.
Yeah, that's not a valid reason for rejecting just because you don't know. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what happened to Joe. He just somehow actually dropped or whatever. Oh, looks like he's loading back in. Let's give him a second. Okay, Joe, are you there? Joe, can you hear me? Joe?
My phone overheating.
Okay. Joe, you saying that you don't know the specifics is not a valid reason for rejecting the court cases. The court cases have been settled. So
If that's the cope you want to go with, that's fine. I don't care, dude.
that's not cope. If the cases were still in question, I could understand what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. If they were still up for dispute,
was OJ innocent? Was OJ innocent?
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. He was found innocent in the court of law, and then in the civil case, he was found guilty.
So was he innocent?
I just told you he was found innocent in the criminal court of law, and then he was found guilty in the civil court.
Did he get civil court for a crime that wasn't related to the murder? Good job.
Yeah, I'm not disputing whether I think that he is or is not. I'm just laying out the facts. Again, Joe,
the facts of that case don't matter.
What we feel, Joe, it's about what we can prove, and I can prove that in a criminal court, O.J. Simpson was found innocent, and I can prove in a civil court he was found liable. It's not about what I think or feel; it's about what we can prove.
So you just basically don't think, and you just allow like whatever to happen through the courts, and don't like have any, say or whatever. That seems pretty un-American.
No, I mean, because what I think and what I feel is not a space for debate. Like, we're debating, and when I don't debate what I feel.
What feelings? I'm asking for specifics of the court case that you can't provide.
That has nothing to do with the court case being litigated, Joe.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm going to continue asking about it.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe, that was your opportunity. I really appreciate you actually coming in and not really doing anything, I guess. I mean, I'm sure you're going to request backup, but you're not getting back up here. And you can continue to spam in the private chat. Like, if that's going to make you feel better, if that's going to address like the feelings that you're having, I would actually recommend therapy, because you weirdly obsessing over me isn't healthy for you. But whatever you need to do, I guess, is fine. Space, I apologize. Thank you so much for being patient.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I mean, he was really confused. I don't know why he couldn't just at best he could remain agnostic, but he couldn't outright reject it, especially if he doesn't know the facts of the case. It's just kind of strange to reject it.
It wasn't about the debate. It really wasn't about the debate. Yeah. He's been doing this for weeks, and so that was his opportunity, and he didn't have anything. He wasn't really interested in debating. But you and I were talking about capitalism.
Yeah. In any case, would you prefer like a system that like China has right now currently?
No, because that's still a capitalist society. The thing that I'm trying to get across is like, while I do agree and I'm willing to accept like an actual shift, right? Where we embrace like socialist policies and then an actual social government, and then shift to like true socialism / communism. But I think like anything that we currently live in, and then anything that we see within like Nordic societies or whatever, those are still rooted in capitalism, which then still gets us back to the main root of the issue that we're still dealing with.
But are you just saying like, okay, are you just making the case that ideally some communist or socialist economy would be the best, or are you saying that even pragmatically, like in our current state as humanity, you think that those systems would be better than capitalism? Are you making a distinction between the two?
I'm saying that those systems would be infinitely better for everyday Americans. But the biggest thing that I'm really trying to debate is to shift the mindset from thinking that like capitalism works to understanding that capitalism is the problem, and we need to start then looking for other systems to engage in. The whole point of me having this point on the background is to like be quote unquote proven wrong that somehow capitalism works as we know it today for the majority of everyday Americans.
Okay, but when you say that capitalism doesn't work, are you just proposing that we do like some socialist kind of economy in the way that it's classically kind of posited, or are you saying that that there could be some adjustments made to like a socialist worldview in order to accommodate for like the way that humans nature is, right? Because if you just look in history, you take like any socialist or communist community that isn't like, obviously I think there's native tribes in the past that have successfully done like socialist communities, right? But these people lived in like much smaller populations. They had much different ways of life, right? And I would probably agree that if we can all adapt to that way of life and live off the land in that way, I think we could probably adopt more of those values, right? But if you're just looking at it in a pragmatic sense, do you think that something like that socialism doesn't almost always lead to like a dictatorship or some sort of oppressive kind of community?
No, I don't think that socialism actually does that. But again, that's not the point that I'm trying to debate. I mean, the point that I'm trying to debate is reconciling the people who believe that capitalism does work with the actual reality that it doesn't. And I'm looking at the specific examples, and unless like we can say how this actually exists in our world today and how it actually works today, then there has to be a concession in saying like, hey, this doesn't work and we need something different. Now, the something different can absolutely be debated as far as like, what does that truly look like? Because again, you have some people who say like violent revolution now, flip everything and go, directly there. I'm willing to take steps to get to the end goal or whatever the case may be. I think all of those things are debatable as well. But the only point that we're trying to get across, and that's why when you came up from the beginning, I said, you were saying, oh, you think it doesn't work like how it exists or whatever. I'm not talking about the ideal situation of capitalism. I'm not talking about, well, if some things are adjusted within the system. I'm talking about as we see it today.
Yeah, because I think if we're going off the ideal, and we're just trying to take like how the ideal would work for each system, it seems to me that like, okay, if we just take communism or socialism, we take the ideal situation for those. Okay, there's going to be some sort of uneven distribution of like resources, depending on, who's kind of like working harder, who's doing more for the community and all of these things, right? And then if we take the ideal circumstances for capitalism, it just means that
wait, I thought that's what you were saying. Wait, maybe I missed it because I thought you were saying that was the ideal circumstances for capitalism.
No, yeah, I'm saying that in the ideal circumstance for capitalism, it seems like you can have all of those positives of socialism, right? Which would be like everyone's needs are met. There isn't anyone like going hungry. People's basic needs are always met, but then you still have like the free market for people to gain like abundance in ways that you wouldn't be able to in socialism or communism. So it seems like you can just have the best of both worlds.
All right, but what's the okay? So the issue that I have with capitalism is that it's always going to end the same way, right? No matter, and that's why when you brought up like UBI, I said, death by a million paper cuts. No matter if you slow walk capitalism or you speed run capitalism, capitalism still has the same result in the end, right? It still has the exploitation of resources, which could be like people, ideas, actual resources. It has the consolidation where the minority of people benefit with the majority of people not benefiting. And whether you like string that along for longer or you just make it happen quicker, like it's still going to happen because that's what capitalism relies on. It relies on the exploitation of resources and the consolidation of power and resources under one.
Okay, so you think that like you feel like there's something wrong with overabundance. Like, for example, like maybe you think it's wrong to be a billionaire or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that hoarding resources when people go without is absolutely something that's unacceptable.
Okay, but then, okay, what if like, it seems like with capitalism, like you could be a billionaire, but then just be forced to, give enough resources to where people that didn't innovate in the way that you did or create a business in the way that you did don't have to suffer. Like it just seems like you can have both worlds.
But you can't, because that's not capitalism. Again, capitalism is based off of hoarding and exploitation. And again, no matter if it's a slow process of hoarding and exploitation or a fast process of exploiting and hoarding and exploitation, it's still built off of that. So
you think that capitalism's like the foundational like tenets of capitalism is about hoarding?
Mm-hmm.
Can you what's the argument for that?
The point of capitalism is to make as much money as possible, right?
Well, I don't think that's the point of capitalism. I mean,
and what's the point?
That's probably like some sort of result based off of the system, right? Like you can kind of like you can hoard resources because of capitalism.
No.
I don't think that's the point of
if actually generating profits, maximizing profits are not the actual like end result, if that's not the main point, then what is?
Yeah, capitalism is just about having a free market and being able to, like move freely within like an economy. And
I'm not saying I'm not saying that
it's
capitalism isn't based off of the ideas of a free market, but the free market is to what ends?
Yeah, the free market's just the end is to, create a community of people that can move freely without being like plateaued by some overseeing government body. So I don't think that it seems like, for example, like if you look at China, the reason why they moved to a mixed economy was because like the socialism stuff was just kind of not working for them. Because I think you should probably attain some sort of level of wealth, or I think it's probably good to have a free market where people can innovate and have more incentive to create things that are beneficial to people, right? And obviously, ideally, you would probably say, well, look, yeah, sure, that could be true, but ideally, we would just do that anyway without other people having to suffer, right? Which I agree with, but I don't think
so
humans are like that.
So I'm gonna hop in, and so there was an actual study that was completed by Stanford Law School on January 1st, 2024, titled "Free Market: How We Can Save Capitalism." How we can save capitalism from capitalist, right? And while this is advocating for the changes that are needed within capitalism to actually derive something that's suitable and can continue to be sustainable, the thing that they highlight is the ultimate end goal of free market economy is the most effective allocation of scarce resources through voluntary exchange, driven by the focus of supply and demand without government control. By letting individuals and businesses freely pursue their own self-interest, the system aims to maximize social wealth, innovation, and overall economic well-being, right? So again, social wealth is the inference of being able to maximize profits, right? So
yeah, that's like the result of the foundational thing there. But yeah, it's like a mix of what you and I both said.
No, what I'm saying is that that's the desire, that's the drive, that's what it's looking for. And so when I say hoarding, I mean, people want to make as much money as they possibly can, and they want to have as much money as they possibly can. That's why you see Elon Musk, who's the richest man on earth, who isn't just saying, well, I won capitalism, I'm good. He's saying, I want more and more and more and more. Like that's what I'm saying. That's what capitalism does. It drives people to want more, to consume more, and to actually hoard more.
Okay, that mentality, I think that mentality, I agree that that's probably wrong, right? Maybe there's like, you know, Elon probably shouldn't be a trillionaire. That's probably like, there's something wrong there, right? But it seems to be the case that like whenever we look at the other like economy, like the economy types, that's how humans operate. Like humans operate off of this kind of like drive to hoard resources for survival. And I think that's like
not how human operates. That's not the default. That
is obviously the default.
No, that's only the default in the capitalistic society, in a patriarchal society where you're taught to be individuals instead of actually doing what's best for the collective. Like that, yes, it's absolutely the way that you're taught. But prior to this is why I love bringing up like indigenous people and like African society prior to the introduction of capitalism and the patriarchal system. The actual premise was to ensure that the whole, the collective, was taken care of. One of the things that happened to indigenous people when they were introduced to like the colonizers that came to Turtle Island is they forced the actual indigenous people into their way of thinking, their way of living, including into the structure where women were relegated and then men were placed as the quote unquote head of the household, right? Indigenous people were communal by nature and they had a matriarchy, right? And then you see like France was the first group of colonizers to actually even allow women into the interior of the country after they started colonizing them. And they like that was the first time indigenous people saw any type of representation of women within, the capitalist patriarchal model. But then even if you take a look at what they forced them to do in order to engage, many traditions as far as indigenous people was when they met when they met visitors or other tribes or other nations came, they would give away like portions of their quote unquote wealth as a gesture of welcoming those other tribes or nations or whatever into the area. And the actual colonizers that were there, in order for them to adjust to like the different colonies and everything, for them to participate within the living and the trading and all this other stuff, they forced them to stop doing that, because they wanted to shift it away from the premise of like the whole and the collective being taken care of to an individual mindset that drives the narrative that like individually we need to be the best possible. So that's what I'm referring to.
Okay, but do you think that like, okay, that I understand, but do you think that native tribes or like indigenous people, you don't think these people warred with other tribes and took their resources? Like, do you think that they hoarded resources for their own communities,
No.
and made sure that their own communities were in abundance? More than
again, I think that like having some type of premise that indigenous people didn't have like war or take captures or slaves or anything. That's not the point that I'm getting to. I'm just talking about the hoarding of resources. No, they didn't hoard resources to ensure that no one else could get them. They did make sure that their actual tribes or their nations had everything that they needed, but they didn't say that all of our needs are met, but we want to continue to have all of this. So, this group doesn't have it. They didn't overhunt the land. That's like one of the best examples that I could give, right? Think about the actual premise of why buffaloes went extinct. Well, buffaloes didn't go extinct because indigenous people were over hunting them. They would use the buffalo to every ends, right? With whether it's meat, whether it was like clothing, all this other stuff. But then when Europeans, the colonizers, got here and they started to actually take over the land and all this other stuff, they hunted them to the point of extinction, to the point where it wasn't even necessary for sport, for exploiting those pelts and all this other stuff. So like the entire premise, it falls flat on its face when you take a look at how they live within society prior to colonization. And yes, Sean, I did say.
Look, I'm not going to say that look, I'm good faith. I don't know. I can't say that I know this to be fact, right? But can we just look it up? Can we look up, did American indigenous tribes hoard resources? Is that cool? Can we just look it
Sure,
up
you
real
can go
quick?
look it up. I can thank a couple of people while you're doing so.
Sure. All right, give me a sec.
Yep. W's in the chat for Brad. Brad sent a $5 donation, said, Bad River is the documentary that I told you about. It's the tribes fighting against Enbridge and Big Oil in Northwest Wisconsin. Have a great day. Oh, okay. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to go look this up for Shiggity. I would like to actually check that out. Plus, I'm going to be traveling Friday. That would actually be something good to look at on the plane. That'll be good. Doing something cool this weekend, guys. Deb's in the chat for Phoenix Eyes for the $2 super chat. Yeah, that's exactly what landlords will do. Raise prices. And Deb's in the chat for Phoenix Eyes for the $2 super chat. Yeah, like I do think that, stating a premise without actually ensuring that you understand the premise before, it's tough, but at least we have someone that's willing to look it up and engage in good faith. W's in the chat for Jules for the $5 super chat to say, hey, Santana, this is my first donation. Thank you, Jules. Holy fuck. Have a great day. Just a message for trolls. Fuck off, dweebs. I know that's right. Fuck off, dweebs. W's in the chat for One Mighty Pin for the $5 super chat to say, remember to tell Miss Bella Sella happy birthday today from Twitch. Miss Bella Sella, happy birthday. W's in the chat for Miss Bella Sella and happy birthday from all of us, including Twitch. Oh yeah, I got you. Give me a second. W's in the chat for Tiffany for the $5 super chat to say, thank you for all that you do, Santana. Hope you're feeling better. Also, happy birthday, Miss Bella Sella. W's in the chat for Tiffany. Thank you for that $5 super chat. I'm feeling better overall. Yeah, and that's all that I can really ask for. W's in the chat over on Twitch for Manders, who sent the one cheer bit. Yes, Hootie. Fucking crazy. And W's in the chat for Manders, who sent another one cheer bit. Yes, happy birthday, Miss Bella Sella from Twitch. W's in the chat for Tiny Tang, who just resubscribed over on Twitch with their Amazon Prime membership. And last but not least, W's in the chat for Kelly for the 20 cheered bits to say, excuse me, sliding in, throwing pockets full of glitter. Good Taco Tuesday, you beautiful cuties and beauties. Hopefully everyone is having a wonderful day, and remember to have your daily dose of hydration and snackies. Now remember, you stay amazing, and you're amazing, and you're amazing. Cartwheels out the window, landing, exploding into glitter. Pow! W's in the chat for all the donos, guys. If anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out, guys. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. Knock out the daily gift goal. It's the little finger hearts. And last but not least, only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background.
Okay, yeah. So just in the really obviously limited time that I had to look it up. Mm-hmm. So what I've read thus far is just that these communities, they didn't. Yeah, I just went on Google.
Oh, you mean the AI overview?
Yeah, I just looked at the AI overview. So that's why I'm saying it's limited. It's limited. But look,
verify with the AI overview.
Do you think that the AI overview is just, how often do you think it's just incorrect?
It's not about being incorrect. Do you know how the AI
yeah, I do. It takes all the resources. It takes all the sources from the internet and it congregates some consensus answer.
Yeah, and it's based off of popular sources. So I'm not saying that it's not actually, somewhat true or whatever. But it doesn't actually give us a complete source that we can examine with any type of empirical level. So totally that's why I would say what specific source are we looking at?
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I'm just saying that just for the sake of not pausing the discussion, right? I'll just say that preemptively. This is what I read, right? And then we can verify in a little bit.
No. I would much rather have an actual source.
The whole conversation?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Make sure you share the live to your stories and your FYP. Also, look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications. We're on our way to 100,000 followers. We're over 140,000 followers. Also, make sure you follow me over on Instagram. We just hit over 10,000 followers on Instagram. We're over 25,000 followers on YouTube. So make sure you follow me everywhere. It's at Santana Speaks For, and that's the number 4, you. Santana Speaks For You is the place that you can find me everywhere. Debbie's in the chat for Angie for the $2 donation. And happy Tuesday. I'm not sure if you remember, I passed the bar. Yes, I do. Moved states. I was offered a second chair in the law firm, unfortunately, because of holy smokes. Yes, well, Angie, I'm sorry to hear that as well, but like hopefully, you know, there's going to be someone that's going to actually desire you for that very reason, right? Someone's going to say this level of understanding and care and knowledge is going to be the thing that we need. So just know that it's coming. Know that it's coming. W's in the chat for Angie. Again, if anyone else could actually, anyone else would like to support the live, you could do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link here in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will bring that out. We will bring up someone in the meantime and space whenever you finish, then we can pick up the conversation. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Wait, sorry. Yeah, I just was wondering if you could explain the Bible is slavery thing. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, the premise as far as Bible is slavery talks about the fact that Christians not only do not fully understand the Bible, but use the Bible as vindication and verification for like the things that they do because they say that they have to be faithful to the Bible. And so you see things like colonization, genocide, oppression of, Black people, women, the queer community, all while using the Bible as like the reason why. So people who are Christians are chained to the belief that they have to follow the Bible and the religion, and versus even like looking at the way that it's being harmful.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like don't understand it and use it as an excuse to like hate on people. Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame the Bible. I would blame like the people like misusing it. Yeah.
So you agree then?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna drop you down.
Yeah, have a good day. Yeah,
you as well. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, do all the wonderful things. Guys, we're only at 80K likes and we've been live for an hour. Can we go ahead and get the likes up to like 50 or 150,000 likes, please? Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Okay, I'm gonna drop you down. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. I don't know if this person's gonna load. Boom. How are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with something on the background?
Yeah.
Yes, Trump supporter. Yes, disagree, or a combination?
All of it, the above, and I love this discussion that you guys are having. But
I'm sorry, you sound kind of far away.
Sorry, I'm grabbing some food real quick. But when two people are competing for the same scarce resources, like who's going to determine who gets what?
I'm sorry, that's not addressing these specifics. So let me just kind of reset half a second. You said both, right? So would you like to tell me why today, August the 11th, 2026, that you still support Donald Trump, or is there something specific on the background that you like to start with?
Yeah, I still support Donald Trump because the alternative is talking about going to socialist system like you guys are right now. Are you not wanting to have that conversation?
Sure. I'm just trying to make sure I understand what conversation that you are having. So you support Donald Trump today because you are afraid of socialism?
Because the alternative, so my vote, sometimes the most benefit is to prevent the alternative from happening, which in this case would be socialism.
Oh, okay. Well, let me do this and hopefully I can help you kind of like redefine it, because I'm going to take notes as far as why. I don't care about why you voted, right? We're not talking about 2024. We're not talking about prior reasons. And that's why I worded the question the way that I do. So I said, today, August the 11th, 2026, why do you still support Trump?
Because he's a better choice than the alternative.
There's no alternative choice today because he's the president.
Is he still a capitalist?
Yes.
So are you trying to run?
I think you're confused. Again, I'm not talking about like him running. He's not up for election. There's no election for Donald Trump. So I'm saying today, what about Donald Trump and his policies or what he's doing that still has you saying, yes, I support Donald Trump today?
Well, he's still a capitalist. He hasn't started talking about the redistribution of wealth, which is like what I'm hearing here, but I haven't heard how that's going to happen and what mechanisms and what institutions are going to distribute that wealth.
Okay, so you still support Donald Trump today because he's a capitalist?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me what like political figure with power within the United States government is not a capitalist?
Yeah, there's a Mamdani. How about that? And I know you haven't answered any questions. I don't think that you... Mamdani is a capitalist. Is that your argument?
Yes, Zoran Mamdani is still a capitalist. We live in a capitalist society. You have to use capitalism. Now, whether he's implementing certain social safety nets, sure, that's fine, but he's still a capitalist.
Okay, so demonstrate to me that he's still a capitalist by showing me the capitalist policies that he's enacted.
Yeah, the fact that he ran for a governmental position, and socialists and I mean like true socialists and communists cannot actually hold power within the United States government. There's literally laws stating that they can't.
So you're saying that him running for office is him implementing a capitalist policy? That's what I asked for. I asked for capitalist policy. You said that he's implementing capitalist policies. He's not implementing, or you conceded, I guess.
Yeah,
that he's
be specific, the actual state-ran grocery stores, that's still capitalistic. I'm sorry, not state, city-ran grocery stores. The grocery stores that actually sell food at 30% lower rate than other grocery stores within the city, they still actually create profits from the actual sale of groceries. So that's still capitalistic.
You said who earns profits?
The grocery stores still earn profits.
Okay, so it's owned by the city, but the grocery store makes the profit. So who owns the grocery store?
It's the city grocery stores that sells groceries at a 30% less rate than other local grocery stores, and they lock the cost for a 30-day period. So while it's implementing certain socialist governmental policies, right, which gives more access to those who need it, it's not creating something that lives outside of capitalism, i.e. there's still profits being made by the grocery store when they sell the groceries.
All right, and I want to home in on here something that you just said. Use the word need, right? And I heard you talking about this need. Everyone's needs will be met.
Can you address what I just said directly with the grocery stores in New York City?
Are you really going to do this?
Yes, you brought it up. You wanted me to give you a specific example. I gave you a specific example. Can you directly address it, please?
Okay, somehow you think you're arguing that that's capitalistic. It's a transition to socialist system. City.
Can you tell me how that's not capitalistic?
Is it privately owned by the citizen?
Can you tell me how the grocery stores selling groceries and making profits is not capitalistic?
I'm not going to do that because I just did what you asked me to do. And now I'm going to ask you a question and you're not going to answer it, I bet.
JB,
because everyone's need will be met is something that you can't promise.
JB, I need you to stop for a second. I'm not sure what's happening right now, but I believe in good faith linear dialogue. JB, I'm speaking. Please stop interrupting me. JB, you literally didn't actually answer my initial question. You kind of contorted it, and you're sitting here pausing that somehow any of the actual politicians aren't capitalists. And then I told you like what that would look like, and then you said, can you tell me any type of quote unquote capitalist policies? And then I gave you something specific with Zohran Mamdani, and now you're kind of shifting out off it without addressing it. I gave you exactly what you were looking for. Can you please address that directly?
I'm rejecting your premise and claim and argument.
Okay, so if you're rejecting that that's not capitalistic, then I want you to actually explain to me how that's not capitalistic.
So explain to me how somebody who demands that he not be interrupted, but continues to interrupt other people would be a good
JB, this is literally my live, and you're running to something else. If you reject the premise that that's not a capitalistic policy, then explain to me why.
Is it owned by a private individual?
Yes.
Who is that private individual?
I don't know. It's not owned by the actual city.
So why did you say it was owned by the city earlier?
I didn't say that it was owned by the city. I said that the city actually locks the prices and ensure that it's 30% lower than the other local grocery stores.
So what constitutes ownership then?
Can you explain to me how that's not capitalistic? You saying that you have a bunch of other questions. It's not direct. I'm sorry?
Private ownership. Private ownership.
It has private ownership, but that's not something being private does not mean that that's the only factor of being capitalistic, but it is. So can you please explain to me how the grocery stores is not capitalist?
Okay, so if this private owner owns this grocery store that I guess is run by the city and caps the prices and makes the decisions, does he really own the company?
Yes. Can you explain to me how it's not capitalistic?
So what characteristics? I'm asking you to elaborate on the characteristics.
JB, can you explain? You have a lot of questions, but you still have not explained to me how this grocery stores, the actual implementation of a 30% reduction cap and a lock of prices still falls outside of the premise of capitalism.
Because it's not the private ownership of resources and goods. And certainly if he can't make the decision on what happens within the walls of what he owns, then how is that a free market? I'd love to hear you actually respond.
They made the decision to work with the city, and that agreement was put in place. So if a private owner makes an agreement to put a cap and a lock, that's still them making a decision. The city doesn't own it. The city's not forcing them. It's an agreement that was made.
So it sounds like they found a way to turn what was a capitalist system. So he's given away his ownership rights to make decisions with what happens in his walls to the city. And that's his choice.
I'm still not hearing how that's not capitalism, JB.
Is it? It's not. Are you saying
the owners don't have the right to make the decision of what they want to do with their products?
It sounds to me like they're forfeiting them, doesn't it not to you?
The question I have is, are you saying that the owners don't have the rights to make the decisions as far as what they do with their products?
You said that the government is making sure that the prices stay capped at 30% less.
They have an agreement with the city to cap. They have an agreement with the city to cap and lock prices.
So he can't change the prices.
They have an agreement. They signed a contract. They signed a contract saying this is what we're going to do.
Cool. So
how is that not capitalism?
Because it's not operating as a pure capitalist.
So the reason why you're saying that it's not capitalistic is because it's not doing the thing that you want it to do.
Is it maximizing profits?
Again, it's not actually doing the thing that you want it to do.
What capitalism is designed to do.
And also, just because there's a cap on the actual prices and also a lock of 30 days as far as the price, who's to say that that's not going to maximize profits? If it's maximizing profits within the structure, then yes, it's still maximizing profits. Meaning is if they actually set a marker to actually sell X amount of goods, and they sell X amount of goods, even if the X amount of goods are set at X price and stays at that price, that's still maximizing profits. Maximizing profits means getting the maximum amount of value for what you're selling based off of the actual sale of said goods. So they're not taking the goods and saying, well, oh, we're only going to sell 5, even though we have 10. And they're also not saying, oh, everything is $10. We bought it for $10, but we're going to sell it for $5. They're still selling it over the price in order to make a profit. And they're still selling the maximum amount that they can sell. So that's not actually. I'm sorry? How razor thin the margins are in grocery shopping? Say it again.
Do you know how razor thin margins are at your grocery store?
Yes, margins are razor thin within business, period. That doesn't negate the actual profit margin.
How do you think that? So if this grocery store takes a loss, who's going to subsidize it?
The city.
Or will they close down?
The city. That's why the city has the agreement with them.
Jesus, so in other words, the taxpayer will subsidize.
Okay. Because you're still not explaining how this isn't capitalism, JB. You're not like I'm not sure what you think you're doing.
Because if this business starts to lose money, then I, as the taxpayer, am going to have to start subsidizing it.
Do you live in New York?
Shut the doors down.
Do you live in New York?
What does that have to do with this argument?
Because you're making a false equivocation. You're not the taxpayer. Like you don't have to talk in hyperbole. You mean the citizens of New York City?
And everyone's needs will be met.
You mean the citizens of New York City would have to do that? Is that what you're stating?
Yeah. The New York City
the citizens of New York City already does that. Their taxes are already allocated to actually pay those certain aspects of socialist government, right? The actual fire department, the police department. Like those type of things, the public parks and stuff. That's the same type of thing.
Okay, it's the same type of thing, but this has never been applied in this way, has it? I mean, unless your better comparison would have been SNAP.
Just because there's never been grocery stores with these type of agreements does not mean that it doesn't have a precedence. Again, there are city-run, state-run, federal-run like parks that actually charge for people to get in. But then if there's ever an actual miss of profits, then the actual entity they report to, they roll under, ensures their budget moving forward. It's not like a business where if you don't make money, you have to close your doors. There's still an offset. So you're not understanding. If that was the case, somebody just put it in the comment section. If that was the case, then the post office would have been closed because the United States Post Office hasn't made a profit in forever.
Yeah, I know. We subsidize it. So in the instance where this business, because of the 30% cap or however you describe it, is forced upon this business owner or agreed to by this business owner, and he can't one day, or I guess he could go in there one day and say, hey, we're not making any money here. We got to raise the prices. Does that really solve the problem that you said would be solved if everybody's needs are met? And you still haven't defined a need. You still haven't said, when two people need the same scarce resources.
JB, stop. The question that I had was, why do you still support Donald Trump today? And you said, the reason why you still support Donald Trump today is because he's a capitalist. And I said, name a politician that has any power within the United States government that's not a capitalist. And you said Zoran Mandani. And I said, he's still a capitalist. And then you said, tell me how he's instituting any type of capitalistic policies. And I told you about the actual price locks and 30% reduction of the grocery stores. You haven't actually determined, you haven't given me anything about how that's not capitalistic. And then you go, wait. You shifting to saying, well, tell me about the needs being met for everyone and defining this. That has nothing to do with your original point. You're getting so far off the trail and you're not addressing the things that I'm saying. Profit margins, sure, that's a thing. Social policies and practices within the current government system, that's a thing as well. So can you tell me how Zoran Mandani is not a capitalist? JB, you're muted.
Okay, so I love how you think that giving me an example of a grocery store, moving toward more public decision making is like some new idea of what capitalism is. Okay, but yeah, that's just not the case.
Can you tell me how Zoran Mandani is not a capitalist?
Yeah, well, he would. Okay, how about we use the same standard that you guys try and say about Donald Trump as a self-admitted like rapist or whatever, because he himself calls himself a what?
Can you tell me how Zoran Mandani is not a capitalist?
Because he's a self-admitted socialist.
Can you tell me how Zoran Mandani is not a capitalist?
Well, so you don't like your own standard?
You're literally trying to find a way to obfuscate. I didn't make any claims about Donald Trump. I didn't say anything about Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump in this moment. The question is, can you tell me how Zoran Mandani is not a capitalist?
Yeah, I already have, and you just don't like my answers. And you think that this is better for your life.
Thank you for playing, JB. You're not good at this, and I don't see any value in continuing this conversation with you. W's in the chat for Rashid. Thank you so much for the one. Hey, thank you so much for dropping in for that daily support, Rashid. W's in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate the hell out of you. W's in the chat for Vixen. Holy shit, for the 100 cheer bits to say Alabama, Kentucky, Minnesota, Vermont, and Wisconsin. Get out and vote today. I know that's fucking right. W's in the chat for Vixen for the 100 cheered bits over on Twitch. And we are all caught up. Guys, if anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right, Space, you had time to look it up, get sources, all this other stuff. Were you able to find a source about indigenous people prior to colonization hoarding resources?
Yeah, so I dropped the source in the chat. I'll drop it again.
Oh, no. I can't see that. If you can just tell me the source and the title, I can pull it up.
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be from perk.org. And the title of the title is going to be Native Americans Loved Private Property. It's kind of a long article, but if you just scroll down, there's going to be I'll tell you what the section says.
Mm-hmm. And PERC, are you referring to Property and Environment Research Center?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's going to be a section there about like land,
this
water.
Is the one from October the 10th, 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be a section. If you scroll down, it's going to say like talk about communal or like communal land and water and hunting areas.
What's the right here, land and water rights, some communal and some private?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be one of the sections. But if you just read the whole article, it talks about like how there are like hunting area. There were many hunting areas that were privately owned by families, and you weren't allowed to like hunt in those areas because they were privately owned by like these specific families, and they were passed down by generations.
Okay, but how is that hoarding the actual resources?
Because you're hoarding the land there. You're saying that I have this land. I can only hunt in this land. You're not allowed to hunt here. That's obviously hoarding a resource, right?
No. Hoarding resources would actually speak to the fact that they are taking the resources and actually stockpiling the resources so other people can't have resources. That's why I specifically mentioned like Buffalo. Well, I'll tell you. That's why like I spoke to specifically Buffalo. If they were hoarding the resources, not for a specific area, saying like this is our private area and we can actually do this in this area, it would be a case of them actually eliminating the ability for everyone else to hunt in other areas. So if they actually said, can you tell me, you said what? I'm confused as far as what you are missing.
Yeah. Obviously, if it's the case that I take a piece of land, right? Let's say I find a piece of land, and in this piece of land, there's more buffalo. There's like plenty more buffalo in this piece of land than in your piece of land. Okay. And I own this piece of land now. Nobody else can hunt in this piece of land. How is that not hoarding resources?
Are there still other buffalo in other areas of the land?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they stopping? Are they stopping
by other people?
Wait, are they stopping people from hunting buffaloes in the other area?
No.
Are they stopping? Are they stopping buffaloes from being able to migrate to other areas?
Wait. Yeah. Well, that for sure. They're definitely. If you keep reading, there's.
Okay, well, let's read this section. Give me a second here. Let's just read the section. Land, water rights, some communal, some private. And I'm just, guys, I'm reading off what this says. FYI, I'm just reading this verbatim. Indian land tenure systems varied considerably, ranging from completely or almost completely communal systems to systems hardly less individualistic, holy smokes, than others within the core of fee simple.
No, from
tenure.
our own. It says from our own. Don't change it. It says individualistic, hardly different from our own.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I apologize. I wasn't changing anything.
Okay, no worries.
No, I'll start over. I mean, I'm again just trying to read this verbatim.
Yeah, no worries.
Indian land tenure systems varied considerably, ranging from completely or almost completely communal systems to systems hardly less individualistic. I think that's why I end up skipping, because that word fucked me up for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Then our own systems with its core of fee simple tenure. According to one historian, the degree of private ownership reflected the sanctity of land and the difficulty or ease of defining and enforcing rights. Julian H. Stewart concluded that, and this is a quote, truly communal property was scant amongst American Indians because agriculture required investments, and because boundaries could be easily marked, agricultural land was often privately owned. However, unlike most private land today, Indian property was usually held by families or clans rather than individuals. For example, families amongst the Macallan, I think that's how you pronounce it, Macallan Indians of the Northeast hereditary rights to use well-defined tactics of garden land along rivers. Away from the rivers, however, where the value of land of crops was low, it was noteworthy establishing ownership. As one historian put it, and this is a quote, "No one would consider laying out a garden in the rocky hitherlands." In the Southeast, where Indians engaged in settled agriculture, private ownership of land was common. And this is a quote, "The Creek town is typically of the economic and social life and the populous tribe of the Southeast," writes historian Angie Debo. "Each family gathered and produced of its own plot and own..." I'm going to read this. I want to make sure I kind of harp on this one.
Yeah, no worries.
Each family gathered the produce of its own plot and placed it in its own storehouse. Each also contributed voluntarily to public stores, which was kept in large buildings and fields, and was used under the direction of the town's chief for public needs.
Yeah, voluntarily, not obligated. Like, you can give to charity voluntarily.
So, question for you: if each family had their own plots, and they could actually gather from their own plots, but then they also had a local grocery store that they brought to make sure that whoever didn't have could actually access it, is that hoarding?
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. Like, if you just had a voluntarily bring some stuff, like it wasn't obligated, right? And you were just doing this based off of like whatever your own like virtues are or your values. It wasn't obligated, so people would just voluntarily bring stuff out of the goodness of their hearts. But
So
they
just to make
own
sure
their
one
own
more
stuff.
time, just to make sure one more time, Space, you're saying that it's hoarding, even though each family had their own plot to gather, and there was an actual store where if people went without, they could come and take because other families brought to that store. That's still hoarding.
Yeah, yes, because the communities themselves would hoard for their own communities. They weren't trying to like, give the stuff to the other communities, like the neighboring communities or anything like that. There was communities, there was families within those communities, and within the communities they would take care of each other. Right?
Okay,
But
so this doesn't say anything. This doesn't say anything about like what you're actually saying, where they wouldn't allow other nations access. So that doesn't say you're inferring.
Wait, that's a strange like thing that you're doing there, though, because it would be the case then that also with capitalism, no one is stopping people from making money.
Okay.
Do you think that because I make $1 million, that means that you can't make $1 million?
Question for you. Walmart is the largest public employer for the United States of America, right?
Uh-huh.
Walmart employs people and pays them, correct?
Uh-huh.
Walmart doesn't pay people a livable wage. That's why a large majority of Walmart employees receive SNAP benefits, correct?
Uh-huh.
Walmart also makes record profits, right?
Uh-huh.
So why doesn't Walmart ensure while making record profits that they pay livable wages? Why do they rely on the government to subsidize non-livable wages with government assistance?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'll just use the same kind of standard that you gave me, right? Obviously, Walmart isn't stopping other businesses from creating their own Walmarts, right? Other people can create their own Walmart, like their own kind of store like Walmart. I mean, there's already a few like them, right? There's Sam's Club, there's Costco, there's things like that of that nature. They're also not stopping people from making money. I mean, you don't have to work at Walmart, right? You could work somewhere else. It's not stopping. They're not forcing you to work there. So in the same case with the land that's privately owned for hunting, right? If there just happen to be more buffalo there, right? They're not stopping other people from hunting buffalo in their own land, right? But they do have a robust amount of resources.
Can you equate Walmart to this analogy? I mean, can you make an analogy between Walmart and what we just read with this?
Yeah, I just did that.
You didn't.
I just did that.
You didn't because no. Because you talked about other like businesses. Because if you wanted to make this analogy, Walmart is the nation, and the employees make up the nation. Right? There's different parts of Walmart. There's different people that make enough money within Walmart, but then there's different people within Walmart that don't make enough money. If you wanted to equate this 1-to-1, what this would be like is Walmart ensuring that everyone has a livable wage. So if there were employees that, like, let's say employees that did restocking, right? And they don't make livable wages, they would either take their profits, their actual like record-breaking profits, and then subsidize the actual pay of the stockers who don't make livable wages, or they would take from like the CEO and offset it, but it would be taken care of within the entity of Walmart. That's what they're saying here. They're saying that everyone has the ability to actually get whatever they need from their own areas, but there's also a system in place to ensure if anyone that doesn't have still is able to get what they need.
Oh, so as long as they get what they need, it's fine, right?
The point that I'm making is you can't have
I don't know what you're
hoarding.
saying. Like, that's what you're saying.
the point that I'm making is you can't have hoarding if there is a sharing of resources to ensure that the needs are met for everyone.
Okay, great. So if we just implemented UBI, you'd be fine with capitalism?
No, and I've already told you why.
Okay, but wait. The thing that you're differentiating between what I'm saying and Walmart is that it's the case that you can't have hoarding with sharing, right? Yes or no?
Say it again.
Can you have hoarding with sharing?
Can you have hoarding with sharing?
Yes.
Can you be a little bit more specific? I'm not understanding your question.
Yeah, like in the case with the communities, like the indigenous communities, there's obviously, families with more, some families with less, and then some people, and then there was like a communal thing where people would contribute to a communal thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you can't.
Okay, great. So if that's the case, then you would say that if we had UBI where we were distributing wealth so that people just at least had their basic needs met, then it seems like you'd be fine with capitalism.
No,
because it wouldn't be hoarding. It wouldn't be hoarding.
Sitting here, wait. Just because I'm pointing out the issues that are seen within capitalism, and even more the issues that are affecting us, you keep trying to talk about like the changes that could be made to accept capitalism. I'm not trying to actually debate whether or not there are actual changes that could be made that would slow down the actual things that we're seeing within our capitalistic society today. I've already said that implementing UBI would slow it down. That's why I said death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's not my argument. My argument is the way that capitalism exists today and how things are actually existing. So I'm not talking about ideal situations. I'm not talking about adjustments. I'm talking about the things that we see today. Sorry, 1 second. Jeff said that Santana's ignorant. Sure. Oh, you've already been muted. Jeff, go ahead and accept the request. You're not going to be able to speak anymore until you actually accept that request. So come up here and tell me how Santana's ignorant. You say capitalism and socialism, you eat bugs. You're just wrong. You're stupid and wrong. But Jeff, come up here and tell me how that works. You're not going to be able to speak for the rest of the live. So come up here and explain that to me. So you sitting here trying to say like, oh, we need to make like adjustments within our system and all this other stuff. Like that's not the point that I'm getting to. I'm saying that the system doesn't work. No, and I'm not debating whether or not if we change the system, if it'll work differently.
Look, the principle I'm attacking isn't necessarily that it's the case that capitalism works perfectly the way that we're doing it now. I was referencing to the reason why we even brought up the communal stuff was because you were saying that even if it's the case that we had UBI, right, then that's obviously not going to fix that's not going to fix the problem. But it seems like your problem with capitalism is the fact that people hoard resources, and you think that that's what capitalism is about. But if you also then agree that if you share, then you can't be hoarding, then you wouldn't, like, that wouldn't be a principle that you could hold. You'd have to say that if we have UBI, then it'd be fine with capitalism.
I'm so confused as far as like what that has to do with our current system of capitalism. Can you remind me, am I debating the potential of capitalism?
Yeah, I was directly responding to a point that you made earlier in the conversation, right? This is like an offset of a thing that you said, right? So now, if it's also the case that you want to talk about like just current systems not working, can you point me towards a socialist or communist country that works in your view, and currently, and not ideally?
Again, when you first came in, you've been up here, and I've said this multiple times. The point of the debate, the point on the topic on the background, is to actually speak to the fact that the capitalist system does not work as we see it for the whole of Americans. I didn't say that we need to switch to A, B, or C. While I did say I think communism would be optimal for everyday Americans, the point of the debate is to either shift past saying that capitalism does work for the whole of Americans today, or it doesn't work for the whole of Americans today. Now, you wanting to get to like, well, if capitalism doesn't work, what system would you advocate for? That's a different type of debate, because there's different types of systems that people actually believe in. That's not the debate.
Okay, then I'll just kind of lay a proposition on the table, and you could tell me if you disagree with the proposition. How about that?
If it's going to be you proposing change, or if you proposing like, if this was done or whatever, that's not the point. I'm looking at how it actually exists today. I'm not saying I know. I'm telling you, like, the point that I'm looking for is what we are seeing and how it works today.
Yeah. I'll lay the proposition on the table. So the proposition is just going to be that capitalism is the current best form of economy that we've discovered so far.
It's not, but that's also not the point that I'm debating. That's not the point that's on the back count. I'm not debating.
Okay. Well, then
I'm not debating whether it's the best that we've actually discovered today, because I disagree with that premise. But that's also not the point that I'm debating. Okay,
but then you're just not really like. There's nothing really to debate then. Because if you're just saying,
I appreciate you if you feel like there's nothing to debate. I mean, that's why when you came up here, when you came up here and you said, I agree that capitalism isn't working and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I said, okay, well, that means you agree with the background. And I've been trying to clearly ensure that you understand the point that you're debating. Like I've done this like a multitude of times, and we veered off to talk about other things outside of the specific point. But again,
yeah, but that principle is nonsense. Like, can I just give one more example and then I'll leave? I'll be done with the combo. It was a good combo, but take the case that
it's fun. I appreciate you coming up. I mean, you can just go. Like again, I hear what you're saying, but I'm literally trying to debate the point. And if you're not going to debate the point, then I think you're missing the point of the debate. You said I ran, bro. You were up here for fucking forever, and we talked about everything. Fuck out of here. I ran. What up, Solid?
Yo.
What's that?
Yo. I was trying to ask about what word that Kadunkachut is kicking over.
Hoarding. He was going back and forth with hoarding.
No, on the background.
Oh, he was trying to, again, his last proposition was capitalism is the best form that we've actually seen today, but that's not the point that I was trying to debate. I'm trying to get across to understand, like, oh, we're only talking about capitalism as it exists. You said that seems bad faith, Santana. Sure, come up here and tell me how that seems bad faith. Sorry, go ahead, Solid.
I was asking about the Kadunkachut that was trying to pretend to be Chud the Builder. That got chased around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me a second. May, okay. How is me saying the point on the background is what I'm looking to debate bad faith?
That wasn't the part that seemed bad faith. It was the definition and like the insisting on it. Because like your definition seems to lead me to the idea that
what definition did I give?
Of hoarding, like the way you were defining hoarding.
Oh, I never gave the ultimate definition of hoarding. Actually, as a matter of fact, I actually pulled up Merriam-Webster because I was going to go there next and read off the actual definition to try to get to the point. But like the
description is probably the right word. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that my description of hoarding is bad faith. Can you explain?
Yeah, so it seemed that what he was trying to tell you was, for instance, an example is you said that you can retain this certain thing and it be yours. As long as other people have access to some of this thing, that's not hoarding. That's what it seemed like was coming across. So I think a response to that would be like millionaires with a lot of charities.
Do you know do you know how we got to the premise of hoarding?
I was here for most of it, but I'm also in a cardiology lecture, so I don't know.
Okay. The way that we got to the premise of hoarding is by me saying that exploitation of resources and hoarding are necessities of capitalism. And he said that hoarding is not an actual necessity of capitalism. And then he mentioned that like indigenous people hoarded resources. And I said, no, they didn't hoard resources. And so he gave me the example from Perk where they talked about like having specific areas of land and then them having like general stores or whatever where they could all share on resources. So his whole point was trying to, one, say that hoarding isn't necessary within capitalism, and two, that indigenous people hoard it?
Well, I don't know that hoarding is necessary in capitalism. I did hear his source. And what I'm like gathering from it is that, like, again, billionaires don't stop you from having any access to money. And if it seems like as long as you don't stop people from having access to a thing, you can exclude them from a certain amount of that thing. So like with the buffalo, you can have a certain amount of buffalo or land or water that you restrict people from, as long as they have access to it somewhere else.
Okay, so you're saying that within capitalism, there's, just to verify that what I'm saying or hearing, you're saying within capitalism, there's no actual hoarding of resources because other people can go out and earn said resources.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
I lost signal for just a second.
Oh, okay. I was saying, so you're saying that there's no hoarding within capitalism because people within the current capitalistic society has the ability to go out and earn.
No, I think that there is hoarding. That's just not how I would describe hoarding.
So you just don't like the fact that the way that I use hoarding.
Yeah, I think the description made something like, made something like a millionaire with a bunch of charities no longer hoarding. Because not only are they not restricted. So
you again, just to confirm, you don't disagree with hoarding being an actual necessity of capitalism. You just disagree with how I explain hoarding.
Yeah, honestly. And he was trying to get that point across so that you guys could like advance and maybe be convinced one way or the other that that definition of, or that description, excuse me, of hoarding was just really inaccurate. It didn't work because, like I said, the millionaire situation.
The contingent for him wasn't the example of what hoarding or what hoarding did or did not exist. The contingent for him was saying hoarding was not a necessity. So if you agree with hoarding being a necessity, then you agree. It doesn't matter that you don't like the way that I represented hoarding. The hoarding was still there. Solid, you had your hand up.
Unless you guys understood a proper definition.
I don't give a fuck about definitions though, but go ahead, Solid.
I just think
I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying definition. Yeah, it just needed a proper description, I think, from him before we could advance, and he was pointing out the flaws in that description.
Yeah, I just think it's really weird that we keep conflating collecting and storing with hoarding.
Now, yeah, I do have contentions with some of the things he said. Don't get me wrong. I can disagree with him and still think
just
that.
Real quick, hey, May, can you do me a favor?
I'm sure.
Yeah, can you repeat back to me what I just said?
Oh, no, girl. I was, like I said, I'm doing several things. I'm in a cardiology lecture. I was just finishing the points left. I was talking to
I'm not sure how we're supposed to proceed here. I don't know how we're supposed to proceed here.
What are we?
You're not listening.
He just asked me what my opinion was, and then I told him what my opinion was, and then I was like,
yeah, just real quick. Hey, just real quick. Why are we conflating collecting and storing with hoarding?
I agree. I don't know why they were doing that. That was kind of my point again, is that if you say hoarding is to not restrict all access to something else, but to have a collection of it, that's not hoarding. Then you're saying millionaires aren't hoarding when they have a bunch of charities. They are sharing and not restricting all access.
Okay. All right. A charity is when they decide to relinquish something that is barred off from access from others.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So charity is not sharing, or is not hoarding, right? They have to have something to relinquish in the first place.
Yeah.
If they never decide to do the charity, right, then nobody can access that money, right?
Yeah. Again, I didn't agree with a lot of what he said. I was just having an issue with this. But like, for instance,
if I happening?
She's not here. She's not listening, and even more so, like I think you're missing the whole point. Hey, May. Hey, right here, May. Hey, right here. Focus. Can you please listen to what Solid is saying because you're replying to something that's not being said. Solid.
No. I was
no. You're replying to something that's not being said, May. Solid. One more time.
Yeah, go ahead. Repeat it. I know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then wait 1 second. Then Solid. 1 second. So if you know what it was, then why aren't you directly replying to Solid? Why are you saying something that has nothing to do with what he said? If you know what it was, that means you're intentionally not replying to him.
Well, again, like 5 or 6 words in, I got interrupted, so it'd be really hard to know what I was gonna say. But
let's try again then, May. Let's try again then, May. We're gonna stop talking. We're gonna stop talking. We're gonna let Solid say the thing that he has to say, and then we're not gonna interrupt you. And we would like it if you directly respond to the thing that Solid said.
That would be cool.
We're going to have you directly reply to the thing that Solid says, and no one's going to interrupt you. Solid?
Yeah, just the nature of charity, right, means that they relinquished something, right? So no one has access to that money unless the rich person relinquishes that money.
Yeah.
So charity does not mean that hoarding isn't taking place. If somebody is collecting something, right, and then as a community, people are accessing that collection, that's sharing, not hoarding.
Right.
So, right. That's not charity. That's collectivism.
I got it. So like if I have, I don't know, 17 acres of like the only farmable land in the area, I own this land. I relinquish 10% of it to the community. Probably actually more like 20, based on the amount that some millionaires do. I'm hoarding this land in that case. This is still a wrong thing for me to do.
Could anyone access it had you not relinquished it? Just real quick. Had you not relinquished it, could anyone access that land?
No, but let's also say that
okay. All right, then you're hoarding it. All right, cool. All right, we're good.
Let's also say there were no.
We're all right. We're good.
Little, like,
we're done. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Why? Why do they do that?
Why aren't you like listening at all?
I think the point that you're missing, right? And again, just to kind of bring us back to how we got to where we were. He was trying to actually prove to me that indigenous people were hoarding resources. And the example that he gave of hoarding resources were different families that had their own individual plots where they could collect resources from their plots, but then also they would actually share in a general store where if one family was unable to meet their needs, they could go to the general store and get their needs met by the actual resources that were collected from the whole.
Wait, but did they buy things at the store or did they get given things?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Oh my God.
At the store, did they get given? This is a clarifying.
I can't hear you.
That's not what he meant by. That's not what he meant by store.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Solid. Wait, say it again. I couldn't hear what you said.
I'm sorry. There is some background noise for me, and not much I can do about it.
No, you sound lower. Just repeat it one more time.
Yeah, I just asked for clarifying reasons if they bought things or if it was not that kind of store, if it was just a charity.
It doesn't say whether like there was other stuff or whatever. It just says that each also contributed voluntarily to a public store which kept a large building in a field and was used under the direction of the town chief for public needs.
Yeah, I would probably assume that was a charity thing, probably not what. In which case, that's fair. They would have access to each other's land in some.
But do you understand the problem that I have with you while you're up here?
Oh, well, I can understand why from your side you seem to have a problem with me, but I also can see from your side what I was going to say throughout the conversation.
Why?
got
What's
interrupted.
why, May? Why? What's my problem with you? What's my contention with you?
You don't think that I was answering questions.
No.
Again, it's hard to know what I'm going to say when I get interrupted.
Nope. It's the very first thing that I tried to establish with you.
Oh,
what's your point of contention?
Yeah, that he wanted to get through clarifying a definition, so that you guys could have a further conversation. And it seemed like you weren't willing to like.
The point that he was trying to prove was that indigenous people engaged in hoarding. The point that I was trying to prove is that indigenous people did not engage in hoarding. When you came up here, did you say you agree or disagree with indigenous people hoarding?
I said I was agnostic on hoarding and capitalism requiring hoarding.
I need you to answer the question directly, because I did say, I clarified with you. So did you agree that indigenous people hoarded, or did you disagree with indigenous people hoarding?
Okay, I don't remember answering that specific question any way other than agnostic, but if I were to answer it based on the knowledge that I have, I would say they probably didn't hoard.
That's what you said when you were up here. You said that you agree that they did not hoard. You didn't like the way that I was representing the premise of hoarding.
Yeah. Well, yes, I didn't like it, but I think that my contention was that he was trying to discuss specifically that description, and it seemed like you weren't willing to discuss that. My contention isn't even with the definition. It was just the way you were discussing it with him.
No one gave a definition.
I keep saying,
but the entire point is you didn't like the way that I was actually positioning what hoarding was. It didn't make you feel comfortable. You thought that you had a better way to explain hoarding, and that was your contention. Your contention was you didn't like the way that I was actually describing hoarding, and you felt like there should have been a different way I described hoarding. Not that there wasn't hoarding. You just feel like I wasn't describing hoarding to your liking.
Thank you, honey. No, you too. No, again, I may have some issue with your description, but my contention in saying that you have bad faith was the way you were conversing in space.
Solid, do you have anything else for her?
Absolutely not.
Okay, have a good day.
That's stupid. I mean, if you're gonna say that I'm wrong about the aspect, then I'm more than happy to talk about that. But just because you don't like the way that I described it does not negate the fact that it was being done. I'm confused as far as what's happening here. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Sean, I see you. Give me a second there, though. Hi, Justin. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yeah, I think it's a bit strange when someone comments against you on your platform, you mute them for the entire live. I feel like that's a direct violation of freedom of speech, but that's pretty weird to me. So everyone in your comment section.
Justin, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Yeah, I just said yes.
Okay. Yes, you're a Trump supporter, or yes, you do disagree with something on the background?
Yeah, I think that capitalism does work.
Okay. Floor is yours. Tell us how capitalism works in our society today.
Yeah, so I think you're missing the foundations of economics. Do you have an economics degree or any baseline of economics in general?
Yes, my minor was in economics in undergrad, but that's not the point. Can you please give your argument as far as how capitalism works in our society today? Not the principles of capitalism, not the actual overarching theory of capitalism, but talking about how capitalism works in our society today.
Okay, so when you talk about white people, racism is your problem. You have to go back historically.
I'm so confused as far as what you're reaching for, but that doesn't sound like you are actually speaking to how capitalism works in our society today, Justin.
Who was Adam Smith? Do you know Adam Smith?
Justin, can you give us the argument as far as how capitalism works in our society today?
Yes. So we have to look at people like Adam Smith. We have to look at people like Hayek. We have to look at people like Milton Friedman that laid the principles for what capitalism is in the United States. They had Nobel Peace Prize winnings because of their ideas of what capitalism is. So some of these ideas that fall under that is innovation and growth. I think that capitalism provides innovation and growth. It provides efficient allocation of resources. It provides individual liberty and choices. It provides track record of raising living standards, and it provides adaptability. All of these things are the ideas that Nobel winning prize economists agreed upon, and is the reason why capitalism has been adopted by America and the United States.
Okay, so you're saying that the reason why capitalism works in our society today is because of the historical notions of capitalism, and that we see growth. And I'm sorry, I was trying to take notes, but I missed a couple of things that you said. You said living standards, and you said something else.
Allocation of resources. And also track records of raising living standards.
And track records. So, okay. Can you clarify that for me? Are you saying that it's based off of the track record only, or are living standards currently being raised?
It's based off of track record, and I think current. I mean, the economy is always fluctuating, so I'm not saying this given moment it's better than it was last year, but I'm saying from a progression point of view, it's producing better outcomes.
Okay. Again, I'm really trying to clarify this because I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. Are you saying that our current system that we live in gives us better standards of living than recent history?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, so it wouldn't be the actual...
I'm saying that over this century, the U.S. economy has produced enormous increases in things like life expectancy, real income, etc.
Those things are trending negative to where they were in the last century. That's why I'm trying to, again, that's why I'm just talking about recent history and our current actual, the way that it exists today. Because if you want to talk about like 20 years ago versus today, the actual like life expectancy has started to like tick the other way because of where we are. So I want us to be where our feet are.
That's not true. That's not true. Life expectancy has not ticked the other way. Life expectancy within the U.S., I don't think as of recent history, given the past 50 years, has ticked downward. With the amount of scientific innovations that we've been able to have and progress, I don't think that the life expectancy has been ticking downward over time. That is a crazy claim to have.
Okay. I'll pull it up. I'll give you the information. Can you clarify? Okay, yeah, I'm looking at your points. You said growth, standard of living, allocations of resource. What do you want to list as the fourth thing that you wanted to actually give?
Adaptability.
What does that mean, adaptability?
I think that capitalism provides a more rigid system, so we can bounce back from things much more effectively because we don't have government oversight telling us what we can and cannot do.
Wait, what? We don't have government oversight?
Yes, because we live in a free market. So when things happen within the economy, we can bounce back from it.
Question for you. What happened with IBM and their actual like selling of chips recently under the Trump administration?
I'm not sure.
The Trump administration required IBM, in order to sell chips, to give 10% of the company's stock to the United States government, meaning that they control whether or not that they could actually sell chips based off of government control. Doesn't
I think
it
that
go
government
like
control can still
completely
be an
in?
aspect of capitalism.
I'm sorry?
It can still be government control can still be an aspect of capitalism, but it's not the core
But that's not what you said. You
objective of
said
what
that
capitalism
without
means.
government regulation. That's literally government regulation if the government is saying you can't sell this thing unless you give us access to the profits.
I'm saying that when something bad happens within an economy, if the government is the only overarching principle as to how that government can, or that community or that country can bounce back, it's not going to work. Capitalism allows for free markets to adjust appropriately without having government intervention. Government intervention can still play a role in government bounce back, but it should not be the binding
So it's
principle.
not independent of government control. What you're trying to say then is limited government control.
Yes, limited government control.
Okay, so then can you explain to me what happened during COVID?
What happened during COVID? The government stepped in and they mandated vaccines. Operation Warp,
No. I mean, the actual mandatory shutdown where businesses weren't allowed to operate for a certain period of time. And then even when they were allowed to operate within the time, they were mandated to follow certain regulations as far as being able to work. And then also how other businesses were mandated by the United States government to shift away from addressing like the things that they were set to manufacture and forced to actually manufacture things that were needed to deal with the pandemic, i.e. like masks and cleaning products and stuff.
Do you realize that there's a huge distinction between when the certain country is in turmoil as compared to the average way in which a government operates?
Oh, okay, I'm poking holes. Let's make sure you understand where you're going, because wait. Your original point was that there's no government control, no regulation, and then I brought to you.
I'm saying on a general basis.
Hold on. I then brought to you a specific recent example, and then you said, "Well, it's not that there's none; that there's limited." And then I gave you another example where not only was it limited, it was overarching. I just FYI, I'm taking you through a multitude of things. This is just the second one that I'm like laying out the groundwork to continue to poke holes. So you trying to say like, oh, I'm telling you, there's more examples and I have it, but I'm trying to get you to see the flaw in what you just said.
No, you're just picking out things. I could do that with every single thing that you've ever said during this live stream. I'm just not the type of person to do that. I'm saying that under capitalism, government can step in. Government can step in and provide resources to people. However, the overarching principle of what capitalism is within the United States is not a place where the government is responsible to maintaining the livelihood of each individual.
Okay, so can you tell me about what happened recently with the Paramount merger?
No, I cannot.
The United States government stepped in and said they can't actually complete the merger because the FCC won't approve it.
Again, I just said that can be an aspect of capitalism. Of course, that can be an aspect of capitalism.
So no government unless it's a good thing, and then it's capitalism. But otherwise, it doesn't need the government. Got it. We're just special pleading.
Wait. So you don't think that the government exists within a capitalistic country? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that the government exists within a capitalistic country, but you said that it has a free market without government intervention. We're talking about what you said, not about what actually exists. We're talking about the fantasy that you drew.
I'm saying, hey, if you maybe listen and open up your ears, I'm saying that on a general
without
basis.
Government intervention. Did he say without government intervention?
Without government intervention.
He literally said without government intervention, and that's the point that I've been trying to get across, is that like that statement isn't true. There's a multitude of ways you can look at it. I mean, we're going point by point, but on its face, it's just not true. Anyway, go ahead, Sean.
Okay.
Sean.
Yeah, so
I'm saying,
not Justin, Sean.
What you mean to say right now, Justin, and we all forgive you, including the chat, I'm speaking for everyone in here, is that we forgive you for the misspeak. You didn't mean to say without government intervention. What you meant to say is that sometimes the government steps in order to help capitalist entities and bail them out of the trouble that they get themselves into, because capitalism cannot accommodate for changes and fluctuations within things like, say, the stock market dropping. And we forgive you for that. We forgive you for that mistake. It's a normal
Can I
mistake.
ask you, Sean, what
A
is your
normal mistake
degree
to
in?
make.
May I ask?
Gender studies.
Okay, yes, that's honestly, if I had to guess, that's what I would have assumed. Is gender
I'm lying.
studies.
My degree is
I'm
not in
even-
gender studies.
Wait,
But
hold
look,
on one
I
second.
wanna talk about-
Justin, what's your degree in?
I'm getting my degree right now in economics.
Oh, so
No,
you
you're
don't
not.
have a degree at all?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Wait, Justin. So you don't have a degree?
I'm not getting my degree in economics right now.
Wait. So to be clear, I said, what is your degree in, not what you are getting your degree in. See, that's a tracking issue with you, right?
So I'm shitting on you with no degree. So
no, you're not. You're having such a hard time tracking the conversation.
I'm up here
it's because you don't understand
gender studies.
You don't understand how things work, Justin.
You think that?
I mean, that's all.
Just communism is just.
I'm going to ask you.
One second. Let me just wrap this up, Sean, and I'm going to pass it back to you. Justin, the point that I'm trying to make is you're sitting here saying, what's your degree in? When you don't have a degree, kind of defeats your own point. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, Justin, what's the total commodity value of a product? You got to come off mute. Unless you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Why are you guys muting me when I'm not even talking?
You were muted a while ago while you were talking while the host was talking.
What was your question?
What's the total commodity value of a product?
It's the total monetary value of goods being shipped. It's the actual equation is unit price times quantity.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's not.
If you don't think
it's
that,
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Wait. Here. Wait. Can you look it up, please? I don't have my computer, but can you
I can look it up. It's absolutely.
Yeah, because you're wrong.
It's
Type in total commodity
100%.
value.
Look, I'm gonna
please.
tell you what it
Please
is. I'm just gonna tell you what it is.
I'm actually gonna go get my computer now.
You're scared. You're scared.
I'm gonna go get my computer now.
Okay, go get your computer. You should have got that first before you answered the question wrong. Total commodity value of a product is okay. Excellent. Then let me be wrong. Hush. Stop talking. Stop talking. I'm literally trying to give it to you.
Justin, the reason why you were muted earlier is because, again, for some reason you're having an issue with not speaking while other people are speaking. You won't have to be muted if you don't do that. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, it's C plus V plus X, and that's
So you
stop talking. It's I got variable capital in my head. It's variable capital plus surplus value plus I cannot think of the fucking term.
Okay, so you're asking me a question you don't even know, you fucking dumbass.
I do know the term. I do know what it is. I told you C plus V plus X.
Justin.
I told you. Listen,
Justin.
C plus V plus S.
Okay, and Justin.
Constant capital. Thank you.
Yeah, Justin. The crash out is unnecessary. I would really love for you to be an adult. Justin, I would really love it if you can try to pretend as if you're an adult. Go ahead.
Okay. Wait, so did he not just ask me a question that he didn't even know the answer to?
I did know the answer to it. I told you what it was. C plus V plus S.
Wait,
what does C mean in this? What does C mean in this equation?
Wait, are you saying C or she?
Oh, so you don't know.
I said she, and Sean is asking what does C stand for in the equation. Sean laid out the actual basic level of the equation and then expanded on it. And you said he, I said she. I need you to track the conversation,
Justin.
You
were saying C. I thought you were asking me what C meant in the equation.
Yes, I'm just asking you what C meant in this equation.
It means capital, and it's referring to the constant.
It means constant capital. Because there's a difference between constant and variable capital.
That's what I just said.
You said
hold on, stop,
it's capital.
Santana, I need you to stop.
Wait, rewind it.
I need you to stop. Santana, I need you to stop for a second. Justin, what does V mean in this equation?
Rewind.
What does V mean in this equation, Justin?
It means variable capital.
So you said capital for C, so it's capital plus variable capital?
I'm saying,
okay. All right, that's what I thought.
If you rewind the live stream,
awesome. That's awesome.
That's
amazing.
If you rewind the live stream,
absolutely amazing. That's 100% amazing. You don't know it. What's constant capital, Justin?
The cost of raw materials
And what's variable
used in
capital?
production. The money paid to workers.
Okay, excellent. What's surplus value?
The extra value created.
Okay, excellent. So when you said the capital, you were wrong.
Can you rewind the live stream? I said it refers to capital as a constant. That's literally what I
didn't
said.
say that.
Rewind
You're
the live
lying.
stream.
You're
Rewind.
lying.
How much
You're
do you want to
lying.
bet? How much do you want to bet?
You're
I will bet
lying.
you
You're just
$50.
lying. You're just
$50.
lying now.
$50
You're just
right
lying
now. Would you
You're
like to
just
bet?
lying now.
Would you like to
You're
bet?
just lying
$50
now.
right
We're
now.
just lying.
I'll give you
We're
my
just
Venmo.
lying. You're just lying. You're just
$50
lying. All
right
cool,
now.
Cool. Excellent.
I will give you $50 right now if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Would you like
I
to
agree.
bet? Yes or no?
I 100%,
Would you like to make a wager?
100% believe that you have $50. Absolutely. You're not broke at all. Look, bro, let's just go into it.
Wait. Would you like to bet? Yes or no?
You said
yes
that.
or no?
You said
Would
that
you
you
like
don't
to
have
bet?
the money.
Yes
Make it
or
like you
no?
don't have the money. You didn't say it.
Yes
We all
or
know
no?
you didn't say it. No,
Yes
I'm good.
or no?
I don't need to.
Okay,
I don't
you're
need to take
good
your money.
because
I
you're
don't
wrong.
need to take your money.
Thank you for
I don't
proving
need
my
to take your
point.
money. You're scared,
for
bro.
proving
Like
my
I get it.
point.
I get it. That's
I'm
why
scared
you're.
you're the
That's
one
why
that
you're
doesn't
running
want to
away.
wager. You're
That's why you're
absolutely
running
scared. You are absolutely.
Look, that's why you're running away.
Take the
You said
wager.
capital and
Take the wager.
paused.
Take the wager.
Look, bro.
I said
You said capital and paused.
rewind
Stop
the
it.
live
Cut it
stream,
out.
you dumbass.
You're running away. He's just running
Rewind
away,
the live
bro.
stream.
You're just running
Rewind
away.
it. Rewind
You're
it.
just running away. You're just running away.
He definitely said
Look, bro,
constant
look,
capital. Thank you,
look.
people in the comments.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cut
He
you off,
did not say
Sean,
constant
but
capital.
I have to say this, Justin. I really don't like it when like there's this manic, like complete talking over each other all at the same time and all this other stuff. Like I would really like it. I'm trying not to cut you guys off, and I apologize for Sean. I'm really trying to actively work on this in real time. Please stop it. Like this is absolutely pointless. And if you're not going to engage in good faith, and if you're not going to stop talking over people, then you can leave. I'm trying to let you guys have like the conversation and go through this debate, but like you just saying the same thing over and over and over. Take the bet, take the bet, take the bet. That doesn't work for me. And it's like irritating me to the point of me like wanting to kick you. So please stop and engage directly with Sean, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I said it's capital, and then 2 seconds after I said in regards to constant. In the
You didn't
regards
say
to
that. But
constant.
look, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes,
We
I
understand that
did.
you're
You
good.
guys are
We
insulting
understand
my
that you're
intelligence.
good.
I
Look,
said
look. You don't have any intelligence to insult, Justin. Just go ahead and tell me the points again about capitalism being good, because you're bad at this already. So just restart.
Okay.
Just restart from the beginning.
Why am I?
And don't say without
why am
government
I talking
intervention
to
this
you?
time.
Without government intervention this time.
Yes. Say all the good things without government intervention this time.
Wait, so am I debating you or Santana, or is this a 2v1?
Why are you not saying the thing again, bro? Like, why are you running? What is this run?
Well, I'm just asking a question. I'm not allowed to ask a question. Who am I debating?
No,
you or
you're
Santana?
allowed to say why capitalism is good. You're not allowed to ask questions.
Wait, is this your live stream or no?
Yeah, it is now, yeah.
Man, I don't think Santana likes that too much.
Hey, Santana, I'm gonna take over the live stream real quick.
You got it. It's yours. You're a super mod.
All right, W. So now that we've established that I'm the captain now, I need you to go ahead and say the good things about capitalism again without government intervention.
Yes. The US produces more wealth than any other country in the entire world through its capitalistic views. Economic freedom is empirically linked to prosperity within the United States. We can control the prices of goods, the prices of products through free. Wait, did I just get kicked? No. Through free government. We don't need to be controlled by government. We can respond to prices. We can respond to inflation. We can respond to prices that we don't want to pay for things simply because we're a capitalistic country. And the government oversight isn't overreaching our freedoms within the US.
That's it? That's the whole thing?
Yep, that's the whole thing.
One of the biggest institutions within real estate runs on MBSs. You know what MBSs are?
No, I have no idea.
You don't know what mortgage-backed securities are, and you're studying
Yes, I do.
econ?
I do know that. I didn't refer to it as MBS.
Okay. Who has to approve MBSs?
The government.
Okay, excellent. So when you said that we don't need the government, you were lying?
I wasn't lying. I'm saying that we, of course, need the government. I do not think that the
You
government
just
should
said
play
we don't
a
need
role.
the government. You said we don't need the government overreach.
I'm
You said that
saying that
verbatim.
on a daily basis, the government should not be playing a role that disrupts the natural equilibrium within an economy. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The natural equilibrium within an economy. The biggest market is real estate. One of the biggest markets is real estate. The government approves MBSs every single day in order for real estate to be a market at all. And you're saying that real estate doesn't need the government.
Hey, Sean, do you realize that in the US, we are running off of capitalism? So every single
said we don't need
structure
the
that
government.
exists,
Listen.
single
You said we don't.
Hey, wait,
I
don't
need
cut me
I
off.
need
Hey,
you
buddy.
to reconcile.
Hey, man, don't cut me off.
I don't need you to tell
Let
me
me
that we're
speak.
running on capitalism. I need you to reconcile the contradiction.
Okay, can I please speak?
If you reconcile the contradiction.
I'm saying that in the United States, we run off of a capitalistic government. So the rules
You said
and
we don't
structure
need
that we
government
have
intervention.
in place.
You said
I
we
am
don't need
saying-
government overreach.
Of course, we need government intervention at some
Okay, so when
point.
you said
I'm
we
saying-
don't need it, you were lying?
That's not a lie.
It is a lie. If you say
That's
we don't
not a
need
lie.
it, but we actually need it every single day, that's a lie. Especially
Santana,
if you know
would you
that
like to
we
say
need it
something?
every single day.
Yeah, I do. If you misgender Sean one more time, it's a concession and I'm kicking you. Don't do that shit again.
How did I
That's the
misgender
only
that?
that's the
How
only
did
thing
I-
I wanted to say. And I know Sean, I know you don't care, but you know how I chaps my ass. I don't do that shit
Wait,
again.
can you please tell me how I misgendered?
I'm telling you, if you do it again, it's a concession and I'm kicking you. Go ahead, Sean.
What the hell?
I need you to reconcile that contradiction. I don't need you to do anything else. I just need you to reconcile that contradiction. You said we don't need the government, but also we do need it because one of the biggest markets uses it every single day. So just go ahead and reconcile that contradiction. Don't say nothing else because I don't care about the code.
I'm saying that, of course, we need government intervention in some
Okay, so then you
aspects,
did
yes.
lie. Okay, excellent. So
That's
so
not
you're
a
a
lie.
liar. We established that you're
That's
a liar.
not a lie.
Okay,
Can you
excellent.
define the
You said-
definition of what a lie is, please?
Yeah, in this particular instance, when you say something
No,
knowing that it
not a
is
particular
untrue.
instance.
Stop
No,
talking.
I didn't.
When you say
that's-
something, a lie can be a multitude of things. You can lie by omission, like keeping information out of something that you know a person would want to know. But in this particular case, you did not lie by omission. You lied by saying something that you knew was not actually true. That's a lie.
How do you know?
So
How do you know
now-
that I didn't know it was true?
Because you just said that you knew it wasn't true. You
Yeah,
just
so
said that you
wouldn't
knew
be
that
a
we need
misspeak?
government
Wouldn't that be a
intervention. So when
misspeak
you
and not a
said
lie?
when you
Yeah,
said
that's
we
not
don't need
considered a
government
lie.
when you said we don't need government overreach and we don't need the government involved in everyday affairs in capitalism, but we use the government in everyday affairs in capitalism, that is either you not knowing what you're saying and being confused, or it is a lie. I've established that you do know what you're saying because you knew how the government did reach into capitalism every single day. And so we established that it was absolutely a lie. So now that we know that you lied, we can move on with the conversation. So
Okay.
keep going.
I'll be the bigger
That's-
person.
that's not a
so
thing.
I'll be the bigger person. So you
Okay.
can go ahead.
Yeah, you need to make a new point because your first point fell apart when you lied about government overreach.
So you're still saying that I lied about government overreach?
You did lie about government overreach.
Yeah, can you please tell me just the very basics of what we're talking about? Can you please tell me the ideas of Adam Smith and how it played a role as to what we're discussing right now? The very
Adam
fundamentalist-
Smith?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you're talking about how the government doesn't need to move into capitalism because the invisible hand will guide capitalism into the more ethical ways of formulating capital within a system like the United States. But that's not true because unless you're saying that the government is the invisible hand, are you saying that the government is the invisible hand?
Wait. So you don't think that
Are you saying that the
individual
government is the
self-interest-
invisible hand?
Wait.
Are you
that's-
saying that the government is the invisible hand?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, then excellent. So then we established that you lied.
And I'll tell you what
So
I'm.
now,
What
so
the
now that
hell?
I've explained
What
to
are
you,
you
so now that
saying?
I've explained to you, so now that I've explained to you
I can
how
tell you
Adam
have a degree
Smith
in
talked
gender
about
studies.
capitalism, so now that I've explained to you how Adam Smith talked about capitalism and how you're not talking about the invisible hand guiding capital and the government actually doing it every day, because you know the government does it every day in one of the biggest markets in the United States, and how the United States accumulates capital. Matter of fact, one of the biggest ways and the fastest ways to accumulate capital is through land and real estate. Now that we've established that you lied earlier, I'm just going to need a new point because your first point fell apart.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for finally letting me speak, Sean. I appreciate that. Is your name Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know what's happened last time, but I'm glad it's Sean. So I'm saying that the invisible hand still exists because with every single structure, not every single structure, I have to be very, very careful with how I say words. The invisible hand still exists because if someone goes out and they come out with a new product, they get a thing and they have the right to produce that product for a limited amount of time before other businesses can go in and start producing that product. This is how the invisible hand is working because people's self-interest at starting innovation within a market leads to other people also creating products and systems that can generate more money. So people's self-interest are the ultimate factor that allows economic growth in the United States. If you have a financial firm, a wealth management firm, if there was only one wealth management firm, that would produce skewed numbers. So other people step in order to provide a more competitive government. A more economic sound system. If the government were to do that, as we can see in grocery run or publicly run grocery stores, it distorts the systems. So that's why it has to be left up to individuals.
Okay. Who protects patents?
The government does.
Oh, shit. So everything you talked about is government reaching in. That was one question that threw that entire thought process out of the window. You literally talked about how someone created a product. Someone created a product.
That low.
Someone creating a product and being able to sell that product and other people not being able to sell that product for a short amount of time, allowing them to accumulate capital. The thing that protects that action is the government. The thing that protects that patent is the government. So saying that the government does not need to reach into everyday affairs in capitalism is, again, you lying. You understand that you're lying. And all I have to do is ask you one question.
I already took back the claim.
You didn't take back the claim because you said the government, you said the invisible hand. You're not talking about the government being the invisible hand.
Oh my gosh, what is the core principle?
Hand.
What is the core principle I am talking about in this example I'm giving you? It's not the fact that the government is reaching in. The core principle,
yes,
if you can think, if you have some sort of intellect, if you can think for 5 seconds. No, you were not. You were not smart.
This is not hard, bro. You said, and no pause on that.
You have a gender studies
literally no pause on that.
I want to hop in here just for a second and say, I'm really getting overstimulated.
Oh, so you were lying.
I did lie. I told you I lied. I told you I was messing with you. Actually, since we've been talking, I got an econ degree.
Give me a second, Sean. The over talking is really starting to overstimulate me. I'm trying to give space, but stop. Sean, I would really, really, really like it if he pulls back to the way that capitalism exists within our country today, because I told him from the very beginning, him talking about the principles of capitalism or the corrections that could be made within capitalism, or any type of additional changes that could happen. That's not the point of what we're talking about. We're talking about how it exists today and the way that it actually affects people today, because it's not working as far as how it actually affects people today. And he's supposed to be defending capitalism working for everyday Americans today. So let's steer him back to that. Justin, please stop the over talking. That's so overstimulating.
Fair enough. Let's do this. Can you reconcile the amount of starvation deaths that are happening and skyrocketing in the United States and somehow blame that on something other than capitalism?
Yes, I can blame that on Trump reducing his funding. That has nothing to do with capitalism. He reduced SNAP benefits, he reduced other USAID, which affects millions of lives abroad. That's not a direct form of capitalism. That's a form of the president stepping in and taking away SNAP benefits.
The skyrocketing deaths have been happening since before deregulation, taking away funding for SNAP benefits. It's about access to food, the lack of access to food and food deserts in the
Can you give me the
States.
source on that? I'd like to go off statistics. So when you provide a claim, please provide the source. Thank you.
While Sean grabs that, I'm going to say thank you to a couple of people. W's in chat for Amanda for the $2 donation. I'm happy to hear that you're reading the 1619 Project. And also, yeah, shout out to Ari. Like, that book is super powerful, and I'm glad that you are taking time to read it. W's in chat for Jared for the $1 donation. Yeah, like, we can talk about the fact that people don't have access to water, like clean water. That's a thing. You're literally right, Jared. W's in the chat, and May was very insufferable. W's in the chat for Justina for the $5 dono. Said, please rewind the vibe because he's telling the truth. He's been wrong about a lot, but it seems capital referred to as a consistent. Or regarding to a consistent, I may not be saying verbatim, but he did say what he said. Yeah, I mean, like, we called out, there was a pause.
Oh, Sean.
I'm in the middle of
What
reading.
happened,
Justin,
Sean?
Yeah.
Justin, 1 second, Sean.
You didn't
1
say
second,
it.
Sean. 1
They're
second,
lying.
Justin. 1
It's like,
second.
I don't know what to tell you.
1 second. Justin, I'm in the middle of speaking, and you made a decision to talk over me. Stop it. This wasn't for you. This is just me reading off donations. This has nothing to do with the debate in the moment. Stop. W's in the chat for Justina. Thank you so much for the 5. Yeah, the actual issue came in as far as his actual initial answer, and then he paused and then tried to add more to it after Sean called it out, started speaking. W's in the chat for Fashid. Thank you so much for the $1 donation. Yeah, like, they pretend as if we're talking about something directly when we say slavery. They're being so fucking disingenuous. Yeah, and W's in the chat, you said those are absolutely recent examples of capitalism failing, right? The 2000.com crash and also the 2008 housing market crash. W's in the chat for Jacqueline for the $10 donation. Said, thank you for standing up standing up to guys like that for misgendering your friend. As a trans man myself, it's refreshing and validating to see someone stand up for us. Love your debates. Keep fighting a good fight. Yeah. No, listen, I try to give Sean as much space and leeway as she wants. And, like, she gets upset that I do it, but it really bothers me.
No, he don't, chat. He got me on a short leash, chat. He be yanking that leash too, boy. I'm telling you, shot collar over here, chat. He don't give me no room. Y'all see it? I'm over here oppressed. Chat. Can I get some? We shall overcome.
You know, this the reason right now that yesterday I was told that I tokenize trans people. So
is that way?
Right. Literally, I was told that yesterday. I was told that I was performative and I tokenized trans people. Yeah.
And did.
God damn it, Sean.
And did. Hey. That's what you should have said.
W's in the chat for Kaylee. Yes, Sean's pronouns are she, her. Absolutely. W's in chat, Kaylee. W's in chat for Phil for the $2 dono. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They reallocated those social program funds for snaps and gave those tax breaks to the billionaire with the BBB. Facts. W's in the chat for Pat for the $5 donation. And I'm so tired of these young smug know-nothings with no actual proof who are still in college. They want to essentially test what they have learned so far against experts, and the overconfidence and be smug about it. Like, the worst part is, like, again, if they wanted to follow theory, I mean, I think theory is different than what we're actually seeing, and that's the point that I've been trying to drive home. W's in the chat for Azu for the $2 euro. Yes, it's literally an actual illusion. W's in the chat for Phoenix Eyes. This was from earlier. Said, I bet he won't read the definition of hoarding verbatim. You know he wouldn't. W's in the chat for Tashid. Hey, Tashid, who has been a YouTube member for 11 months and used their 11-month membership super chat to say, ask him to clarify the difference between private enterprise and free enterprise, and the difference between personal property and private property. Yeah, we'll get to that for sure. For sure. W's in the chat for Tashid. W's in the chat for Manders for the one cheered bit. Mander said she loves you, Sean. And then W's in the chat for Manders for the 100 cheer bits to say, guess better recognize because Twitch is ready to ride for Sean. Facts. Facts. W's in the chat for all the donos, guys. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. It's the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Also, look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications so you know when we go live all the time. So please, please, please turn on notifications. Also, make sure you're taking care of Sean while Sean is up here. Please show Sean all the love in the world. Make sure we're gifting Sean. Make sure we're following Sean. And make sure we are hitting Sean's pay links. I know they're in the poll in the bio, but they're Watch My Legs on Cash App and Venmo. So please, please, please show Sean all the love in the world. All right, Sean, you sent me some stuff. What do you want me to do?
The first one first. But I got a W to Elizabeth for saying for sending $5 to the Vimo because that gender studies thing was hilarious, apparently. So W, y'all.
Are you making fun of people with gender studies degrees?
Yes.
Okay, I respect that.
No, I don't care for gender studies degrees. I lied again. But yeah, this is from 1999 to 2023, and it talks about the growing deaths and due to disparities of adequate grocery in neighborhoods in the United States. So it's before any kind of SNAP benefits were taken away. But I would just ask, like, why would SNAP benefits need to be a thing if capitalism is so good at distributing resources? But let's focus on this first.
I can't even see it. It's so blurry. And I don't have my glasses on. Rising deaths due to malnutrition and growing disparities in the U.S. to 24-year trend analysis from 1999 and 2023.
Basically, before Trump was ever in office and was able to cut SNAP and TANF benefits, from 1999 to 2023, this study shows that there's been a lack of adequate grocery in the United States, in certain areas in the United States that create places called food deserts. And those food deserts attribute to malnutrition deaths, aka starvation.
Wait, so this study is saying that from 1999 to 2023, there was more deaths due to a lack of access to food than there were previously? I just doubt that that's true. Okay, and what study is this? Where is this from? Food Science and Nutrition. What are the overall findings?
This is on the National Library of Medicine. This is the title.
Where are the results?
The PMID 411-32581. You said you were grabbing your laptop, right?
Yeah, I have it now.
Okay, if you just type in Google PMID 411-32581, it'll pull it up and you can look at all the details of it.
Okay, I found it. Let me see.
All right, while he's looking at that, can you pull up the second thing? Sit down.
Yep.
Do you realize that? Wait, does the one that you have only have the like little blurbs for the entire results?
No, it's a detailed breakdown, and you can click to see the full study. There's
Okay,
additional links and resources and everything.
Let's say the place of the UI.
Hey guys, if you don't mind,
So
keep
they only
tapping the
include
screen.
white
Let's go ahead and knock
individuals.
out the Let 'em Cooks, please. Can we knock out the Let 'em Cooks? And can we also get the likes up to 300,000 likes?
Okay, so yeah, there's a few things wrong with this. The abstract reports only one race-specific figure is white individuals, which is just very weird. And also, COVID-19 is an omission. And there's a steep rise from 2013 to 2021 with, continued increases through 2023, which a huge chunk of that window includes the pandemic.
Okay. I'm not understanding the contention.
How are you not understanding? Because we had a COVID pandemic.
You said
this is a huge chunk from the increase. So the steep rise runs from 2013 to 2021, and there's a continued increase through 2023, and a huge chunk of that window includes the pandemic, when the older individuals spiked the most.
2013 was 9 years before the pandemic. And on top of this, that doesn't really matter, because what you said is that we could have something happen within capitalism that like plummets the economy, and we can bounce back easily because capitalism allows for us to do that.
Wait, say that again, please.
You said that we could have something happen within the economy, and capitalism allows for us to bounce back from that. Like, yes, really easily. Okay, so then I don't understand why you're complaining about like COVID-19 deaths being included in this analysis when you're talking about like capitalism being able to distribute resources adequately. The Cope laugh means nothing to me. You know that, right?
Wait. So you're saying that you don't understand why I'm saying that COVID and the pandemic played a role in the amount of deaths that happened due to malnutrition? Because during COVID, there was a lot of elderly individuals who were isolated in their houses, and they would die because of malnutrition because of the pandemic. This is not because of an increasing over amount of a lack of access to food because of capitalism. This is merely because of the pandemic, and we see a broad amount of spikes during this time because of the pandemic.
Prove it.
Also, you've already admitted that the spike occurred prior to the pandemic. That's weird that you would say that when you've
like
already
9 years before the pandemic, bro. Like 9 years before the pandemic.
That you can
hold on.
This
no.
Study,
look.
Let's
just do this.
Let's just do this. White individuals.
If you want to give this contention, we'll take 2021 out of this study, we'll take 2020 out of this study.
Well, you would have to,
if you can prove it.
If I can prove that COVID caused a large number of malnutrition?
Yes.
Okay, I can get you a source for that. No problem.
Excellent.
While he does that, Dub's in the chat for Wendy for the $5 donation, saying, I've learned so much from your lives, but just closing my mouth and listening. I don't understand why it's so hard for others just to shut up and listen. I think that people tend to push back on things that make them feel uncomfortable, and sometimes them just feeling uncomfortable is enough for them to actually, do things or say things that they don't fully understand. Dub's in the chat for Jason for the $3 donation, said, thank you for spanking Justin for over talking. It's overstimulating for me as well, and it's getting so annoying. Yeah, like it's a whole thing, and especially with like the wannabe debate bros or Phil bros who just like spam words nonstop. Like it irritates me, and like I don't want to do it. Especially I'm still not at 100% right now. Dub's in the chat for Justina, who sent a $5 dono saying, I don't have access to Sean's pay links. Send this to Sean, please. I wasn't defending the caller. I was defending Clarify. Yeah, absolutely. I got you. Dubs in the chat for Justina
No,
for the
we
5.
heard your clarification.
Yeah.
We knew what you were doing.
Exactly.
Look, hey, W to Daniela for saying it's disgusting not to know when to say I was wrong. Thank you for teaching me. Sent me $1 on the Cash App, and also Jasmine sent me $5 on Cash App and said tell the guest she. So I guess they're tired of the misgendering, and that's okay. But
It's
I
not-
do go by
it's
she her
not though,
pronouns,
Sean.
Justin. It's for me.
It's really not.
Can you
I
actually
know.
please tell me so I know for next time? So I know for next time.
I know, like, it doesn't bother you in general, Sean, but you know how much it actually bothers me, and that's why.
I feel you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you. But also, W again for Elizabeth said, keep walking this done beagle. I love when you work. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But go ahead, Justin.
No, I was just going to say, Dub is in the chat for all the donos. If anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Make sure that you guys are taking care of Sean. Make sure you're hitting her pay links. It's in the poll and at the top of the TikTok. For everyone else, the links should be running over on YouTube and Twitch. It's Watch My Legs. Last but not least, look up at the top. If you guys see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications so you guys know when I go live. I go live all the time. We're on our way to 200,000 followers.
I mean, I have some sources, but they're not good sources. Usually I type it in through my university account, but I don't have access to that right now. But there is one from nature.com. I don't think that's an accurate site. I'm not sure if it is or not. It looks pretty accurate. 75, yeah, that is accurate. There's 75 citations. And it's called Long-Term Effects of Malnutrition on Severity of COVID-19.
Okay. What does it say?
So it analyzed over 103,000 COVID-19 inpatient encounters across 56 U.S. hospitals between March and June 2020, and states that increase in malnutrition incidences had been observed among older adults with severe COVID-19, suggesting the disease or its complications may trigger malnutrition.
This isn't what we were looking for. We were looking for people unable to get adequate grocery because of the COVID-19 shutdown, not malnutrition inside people with COVID-19.
So I just have a question for you.
Sure.
So if old individuals were required to stay in their homes and a lot of grocery stores were no longer open,
that's not true.
Do you think that old individuals such as my grandparents who did not go out and get groceries and lost over 20 pounds because of a lack of nutrition, do you think that that might have been happening elsewhere?
No, I don't think it happened at all. But you would need to show the empirics for it, because what I care about is empirics. I don't care about like feelings. Like grocery store workers were considered essential workers. Essential workers went to work during COVID. Grocery stores were not shut down during COVID. McDonald's was open.
So do you think
COVID.
old people went out and bought groceries at the same rate that they did prior?
I don't think anyone went out and bought groceries at the same rate that they did prior, but it didn't create malnutrition.
Okay, so you kind of just proved my point.
No,
I didn't.
I didn't. I said it did not create malnutrition. So
malnutrition.
Unless do you have the evidence? Look, do you have the evidence that people couldn't go out and that created?
You just proved my point.
Malnutrition.
You literally just proved my point.
No, I didn't.
Malnutrition exists. So if there is someone eating 2,000 calories per day, and because they are no longer able to go out and attain that,
listen,
you just said it's true.
I understand what the claim is.
Thank you.
I didn't say that your claim was true. You said, did people go out and buy groceries at the same rate? And I said, no, people did not go out and buy groceries at the same rate, but that doesn't mean that created malnutrition.
So let's do simple
you would
logic.
need the empirics.
If A equals B,
you don't know what logic is. You don't know what logic is.
If A equals B, does
you
B
don't know what logic
yes
is.
Or no?
You don't know what logic is.
Justin,
listen.
Justin.
If you
wait 1 second, Sean. Justin, you just saying that you're right does not make you right, and saying use basic logic does not prove
He
your
agreed
point.
with me.
Does
I
not
didn't
prove your
have to
point.
look.
Stop over talking. I've already said it's overstimulating to me and
But
other
can
people.
can she at least not cut me off though? Because I feel like she's been cutting me off as well.
I will stop cutting you off, Justin.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Justin, I promise you don't want to go down the logic route with me. And if you wake up my brother, he's gonna come through. So let's not do that. But just because people weren't buying groceries at the same rate does not mean that they weren't buying grocery in a higher quantity to take home and keep more groceries in their house. Thus, not going to the grocery store at the same rate does not cause malnutrition. There's actually studies that show that people hoarded as much food as they possibly could in their houses. And when they went to the grocery store, they would shop for the entire month, whereas before they would shop bi-weekly. So no, it did not cause malnutrition. This is a bad argument. You need a new one.
Okay, I guess that doesn't really make sense because when I would go to the grocery store or my parents would go to the grocery store, people I knew out of state, there was a lot less food to choose from because there would be certain individuals who would buy in large quantities and hoard the foods, people that had large families. But for people that were older individuals who were scared to go out and they would get to the grocery store and there would literally be no food, those are the type of people who were becoming malnourished.
Prove it.
It's just common sense.
It's not, there's no such thing as common sense. Like, you need to prove it. If you make an empirical claim, you need to prove it.
And you say that you're good at logic, so I'm assuming you're good at philosophy and you don't think that there's anything as common sense.
You said the thing too many times. Let's just do this. Let's go ahead and get you to have a syllogism. I'm going to need a valid inference rule. I'm going to need the whole shebang right now.
What did you even just ask me for? I don't even know what you just said.
You want to talk about logic, but you don't know what a valid rule of inference is?
Do you realize that logic is just not in regards to philosophy? Or
logic,
it's like
it's a
anyone can have
series of
logic.
premises tied together with an inference rule that leads to a conclusion. That's what logic is. So if you're going to say logic,
you don't have to know every realm of logic to understand what makes a sentence logically true.
Let's just go ahead and get your argument. I don't care how many premises it has. It doesn't have to be a syllogism. I just want as many premises as you need, a valid rule of inference, and a conclusion.
For what? What the hell are you talking about?
For this argument that you're trying to make. If you say that I don't know anything about logic, we're going to go down the logic route.
I'm saying it's common sense.
Common sense isn't a thing. So let's go down the logic route.
I'm saying that people with large families during COVID, they would go to the grocery stores and buy a large amount of food in order to maintain their child's livelihood or their family's livelihood and nutritional value. However, when older individuals would go, there would be a lot less food on the shelves. So they would have to buy a lower quantity of food. So they would be lacking nutrition and losing lots of weight because of this.
Is that premise one, or is that premise one and premise two?
That's my whole argument. Can you tell me why you disagree with it?
There's no valid rule of inference. What's the valid rule of inference in your argument?
Can you tell me why it's incorrect?
Because there's no valid rule of inference.
Okay, can you please tell me why it's incorrect?
Can y'all hear me? Am I not?
Are we arguing capitalism, or are we arguing?
Am I muted?
You're shifting.
You're not muted.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Because the reason why your argument is invalid is because there is no valid rule of inference. I want to hear your premises. I want to hear you tie that together with an inference rule and lead to a conclusion.
Premise 1, more families on average buy more, larger families on average buy more food when going to the grocery store. Premise 1, do you agree or do you disagree?
Sure, I'll agree to that.
Well, you have to. Okay, good. Premise 2, during COVID, there was, on general, a less amount of food available.
No, that's not true. Is that the whole premise too?
What? You don't think that that's true?
No, it's not close to fucking true.
Okay, you actually are. I can't insult your intelligence. I won't insult your intelligence. So you think that during COVID, when the global supply chain was down, because there was not the same amount of supply in literally any given realm of the economy, that the food supply stayed the same?
The food supply stayed adequate.
What?
Justin, do you understand the difference between the food supply versus the actual supply chain to deliver the food?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Hey, FYI,
that was my premise too, then.
FYI, Justin, I have an MBA in supply chain management and logistics. What is your degree?
That's pretty cool, actually. I just said that's cool.
Yeah.
Wait. He has his MBA in supply and economic supply chains, but he wants to think that communism is better than capitalism?
I have an MBA in supply chain management and logistics. I also have another one in management. Fuck it. Sean, go ahead.
Santana with the degrees.
Wait. I have a question. And you think? Wait. I have to ask you since he butted in. So you have an MBA, and you think that communism is better than capitalism?
Yes.
Wow.
Not only do I have an MBA, and I think that I've worked for multiple Fortune 50, not 150, Fortune 50 companies. And I believe that I hold that premise. I've worked in corporate America all my life, and I know
Do not
this.
tell them you're a communist. Do not tell them you're a communist. They would fire you in an instant. Please don't tell them that you're a communist.
That's not even true. But
yes, they would.
I want to get back to the thing.
If you work in the finance world and you're a communist,
I want to get back to the thing.
Hell no. I can tell that you no longer work.
Justin, you're literally running and coping. Lock in.
He's blundering a lot, y'all.
Yeah, he
is. Communist working in finance.
Saying that.
That's so hypocritical too.
It's a fallacy.
How is that hypocritical?
Lock in.
Like, what are you talking about?
How is that hypocritical? I'll tell you.
Lock in. Listen.
One second. Justin, stop coping. Stop running. Directly address the argument with Sean.
You just made a point, so I'm responding to your point before I go into Sean's point.
I wasn't making a point. I was calling out the actual issue that you were having, understanding what Sean was saying when talking about the supply and the actual supply chain. I was only calling that out. Please get back to your syllogism.
You cannot work for a Fortune 50.
You can absolutely. Oh, well, there it is.
Watch this. Aw, what's up, friends?
Hey.
Santana's so annoyed right now. Oh,
Santana's so annoyed. Can I give some W's? I got some W's I want to give, if I can.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Jason said, keep walking this dung beetle. And then he sent another $2 later on and was talking about the reason why I said the food supply remained adequate is because a lot of places took away delivery fees. I know that a lot of places started delivering food. First off, Chuck E. Cheese pizza slaps.
It actually does.
When they tricked me.
Don't eat that shit. Don't eat that shit. I work there. Don't eat that shit.
You know when I ain't gonna hold you, I'm gonna eat it anyway. You know, I was like, it was something, what was it called? It was called like Poppy's Pizza or something like that. And I was like, what is Poppy's Pizza? And I ordered it. It was Chuck E. Cheese, bro. They started delivering pizza. But yeah, there was food drives that allowed for contactless delivery. A lot of places took away their delivery fees. There was Walmart online. There was Amazon. Amazon actually expanded their grocery delivery program and like made like, oh my God, so much, billions of dollars during COVID. It was insane. Because people were having all of their groceries and all of their supplies delivered because local grocery stores couldn't adequately keep up because capitalism can't keep up with production. Just because local grocery stores does not have like the adequate things for people to live in modern day does not mean that everyone is going to die. But it does mean that it causes malnutrition because not everyone can have things delivered through like Amazon or whatever in the hood or whatever. But yeah, so like, I don't understand this argument. It's a bad argument, this idea. Like, first off, he kept saying without government intervention. He said without government, capitalism can do great. And then I would ask him one thing and I'd be like, well, capitalism does this every day. Is the government not involved in that? No, the government's actually directly involved in it. So no, capitalism can't do it without government. Santana, we got to talk offline, by the way. We got to talk offline because some of the stuff people be telling you, I'd be like, you got to catch that. You got to catch that.
You know what it is? I try not to get so tied in. Like I saw your message and like they're so bad faith that if you actually like call them on all the shit every single time, it's going to be like what just happened. And I know like you enjoy it, but I get irritated when people do that shit.
No, I hear that. It's just when someone says a thing and it's just like, that's not true. And then they build on that thing that's not true. That irritates me because I'm like, your entire, the base of your argument is not true. Yeah. So the rest of it's not going to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm shutting it down for now. I think I'm gonna go try to take a nap and recollect myself. Ari, Pluckables.
I got you. How you feeling today, though?
I'm better than yesterday. I literally, when I got off live yesterday, I went to sleep and then like I woke up, I was completely discombobulated. Management kept checking on me. I don't remember everything that happened. It was just I was really disoriented yesterday, but I'm trying to collect myself because I'm doing a thing this weekend, which is gonna be fucking crazy.
Did you switch your meds for like ADHD?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be what's
it was an actual like I just didn't take them. It's not that I didn't have them, I just didn't take them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
Okay.
like I cycled back in, and so it's just I feel off. So I'm just trying to get myself back together.
Listen, yeah, you know, you are the king who coined, you know, medicated and locked in, so you gotta be medicated and locked in.
Yeah.
I feel you. Feel better. I'm sorry, friend. Yeah, guys, I run a book club, and it's really amazing how wild it's grown. So I have a Discord, links are in the bio, where we read books. We do a book club meeting once a month. The only person and it's also an effort to address the literacy crisis we have in this country, because our education system does a terrible job of addressing literacy. So I started from the groundwork where we started the first steps of being literate in literacy, which is having a love of literacy, period. Because I look to heal what I call reading trauma. So it's a come at your own pace type of space. I don't hold anybody to reading any of the literature. The only person I hold to holding on to the literature is me. So you can read 1 page, 0 pages, all the pages. You still join book club and then contribute what you can to the information, right? Your own experience, studies you've seen, things like that, that help talk about the topic of the book. I also, in those meetings, do book giveaways, right? Where I try to make literacy as accessible as possible. So whatever your cup of tea is for receiving literature, yeah, I give that to you. Whether it's audiobook, physical book, digital book, or audio and digital, or audio and physical, I'll get that to you if you win So all you have to do is check out the link in bio, and it's completely for the free. So you do have to apply because 21 plus Discord, because the white supremacy is extremely violent and graphic. And so we want to make sure everyone can engage in earnest in the topic. So 21 plus and no Nazis.
No Nazis.
He had the energy to do that.
Oh, yeah.
We know he'll make it, guys.
I was waiting
he'll
for my
make
line.
He'll make it. If he could do no Nazis, he'll make it. All right. Yeah. So 21 plus, no Nazis. And that's why we have the application process. Make sure you guys review the guidances as soon as you get into the Discord too, because there are guidances to make sure everyone is safe as possible. And then we also do, not only do we do book club, but we do documentaries. We started doing documentaries recently. We review documentaries because that's a form of literacy as well to get more information. And I also play video games where we do analysis on the video games and what they're speaking towards in larger society. The most recent video game I'm playing is Silent Hill F, and I play that on Wednesday. So I play that tomorrow on Twitch. Where we do analysis on the monsters and what they mean and what they speak to and towards a patriarchy. If those are your modes of learning, check out the links in bio because if it's hard to keep up on which platform I'm on, so you'll get those notifications in the Discord. But I appreciate you for having me up, Santana.
Absolutely. I just want to say really quick, Randy YG 2803 over on YouTube, you said, I have dyslexia. Sounds good. I do too, and ADHD, so it works extremely well for me. That's why I like the premise of having audiobooks and being able to digest it that way has been phenomenal for me. So I really recommend engaging with Ari and the Discord and book club, and then getting all of those different options as far as being able to engage in reading again. It's a whole thing. It'll really reshape the way that you see things, and it give you access to so many things that you didn't even know that you needed. So absolutely. Thank you, Ari. Sean, pluggables.
Oh man, YouTube. I hope y'all ready.
Let me tell you about Sean. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Hey, Sean sitting there, so I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I'm like, if you don't put that shit on YouTube, like, you're gonna fucking kill it.
I'm not used to YouTube videos. TikTok videos, yeah, sure. I'm used to being like, Twitter, all that. Like I was fairly big on that. But YouTube, I've never been like a video essayist. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's nerve-wracking. It's nervous. Mm-hmm. But anyway, YouTube, I hope y'all ready. I have some stuff for y'all this week. Buy my brother's book at endofaspecies.com. It's called If You Have to Explain It. Definitely do that. He actually, no, I'm going to let him tell you that. I'm not going to say nothing in case he want to do something with it. But yeah, he's got a book out. So endofaspecies.com. It's about the Bible. It breaks down 5 passages and the arguments like for these 5 passages that people give. Breaks down the arguments that people give for these 5 passages. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to say, and Ari, you'll love this as well. Guess what I ordered?
What?
W. I have a shirt that's intellectual.
The Letterman jacket is crazy.
I'm legitimately hoping it gets here before I have to travel. Because if it does, for what I'm doing this weekend, holy shit, it'll be so good. I'm really, really hoping that I get it in time before I have to travel, because it would be like fucking crazy. I got one.
What day did you order it?
Say it again.
What day did you order it?
Sunday.
It comes really fast, so it hopefully should get here.
I'm really hoping, because I'm doing. Fuck it, I'll say I'm doing something this weekend which is bigger than all the rest of them that I've done. Like not even close. And I would love to be able to actually sport some intellectual violence. And so I got one and management got one. So twinsies.
W's, bro. Yo, check out Jeff's merch, because I have a t-shirt that says intellectual violence and I've gotten so many compliments on it. It's dope.
Yeah. Yep. And someone
But
said, where can you
that's our
get it?
team.
It's on endofaspecies.com, endofaspecies.com, where Sean was just telling me about like the book and everything. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
No, you're good. You're good. That's the team logo, intellectual violence. I love that shit. I love that. But yeah, buy his book. Got some stuff coming for y'all on YouTube. Thank y'all for supporting me. I really do. I really appreciate it a lot. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. Link is in the bio. All the stuff. All
Your
the
Discord is
paylinks,
so fun. I don't particularly like Discord, but I actually think yours is kind of fun.
I appreciate that. I do work hard on my Discord for real. But yeah, it's a place where you can ask questions, get sources. Anytime I do something and I need to put sources out, I'll put them in the Discord in the sources bracket. It's kind of a big Discord, not gonna lie to you. It's a lot of channels, but once you get used to it, you know where everybody usually is. Everything typically goes smoothly. But and there's a questionnaire. You got to fill out the questionnaire in order to get into the Discord as soon as you click join. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be going live more because things are settled where I am, and just the support and the love that y'all show is absolutely amazing. Thank you, and please, please, please fuck with me on YouTube. Please, oh my God, please.
I'm a little bit upset at Jeff because he didn't respond to what I sent yesterday. For those who didn't hear at the start of the live, I'm officially friends. I'm not even gonna say mutuals, friends, besties, buddies, brothers with Darius Ruckers over on Instagram, and also J.R. Smith.
Oh my God. Because Jeffy
Yeah.
Yo, did you tell the chat about that?
Yeah, I told him when we first started the live.
You told chat about that?
The crazy thing is they followed me before I followed them. I was like, holy fuck, why are they following me?
They said follow back. That's crazy.
Exactly. I was like, why the fuck are they following me?
Says, the inside loop is that whenever Jeff gets followed by a celebrity, well, not any celebrity. Hey, W. Demanders for sending $1 said, will you start going live on YouTube? Going live on YouTube. I went live on YouTube. I went live on YouTube one time. My internet isn't good enough for me to do like dual streaming, but I'll talk to you about it. I'll talk to you about it. But if I do go live on YouTube, it'll just be on YouTube. Like I'll do something on YouTube. But I got some YouTube videos that I'm making that I really want y'all to fuck with. But anytime Jeff has a celebrity that he likes a lot, and they follow him on something because he's known, like they'll follow him on TikTok, they'll follow him on Blue Sky or something. Mm-hmm. He'll be like, "Oh, that's my boyfriend now. We go together." You know, just like,
I sent that shit to Solid, and I knew for a fact Solid wasn't gonna know who J.R. Smith was. Like that sports just isn't his thing, but Solid was like, "Hootie?" So, all right. Anything else for either of you two?
W to the chat. I appreciate y'all, chat. W's for y'all.
W's. Nah, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna drop down. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
All right. Thank you both. Got a couple of thank yous that we're gonna run through, and I'm like more sure that I'll be back this evening compared to yesterday. I said that I would probably be back, and I ended up feeling worse as the day got on. But I'm pretty sure that I'll be back today. Like I think it's a pretty good bet. W's in chat for Elizabeth of the 10 said, because it's been a minute, what book are you reading? I'm currently reading Feminism is for Everyone. Or I'm sorry, Feminism is for Everybody. Passionate Politics. And this is the thing that I said. I think Bell Hooks may be my favorite author. Like, this is the third Bell Hooks book that I've read. Building Community, Ain't I a Woman, and now Feminism is for Everybody. And holy smokes, every single time I love the way that she like tells a story, the way that she makes historical connections, the way that she actually explains everything. I thoroughly enjoy bell hooks. I am a bell stan. But so this is the thing that I was saying. I don't know if my favorite author is bell hooks or Angela Davis, because holy smokes, the way that Angela Davis writes, just the passion, the precise understanding, like the actual intention of Angela Davis is so intentional with everything that she says. So I don't know. One of those two are my favorites. I don't know if it's bell hooks or Angela Davis, but it's one of those two. It's so tough. I don't know. But I'm currently reading Feminism is for Everybody. One of the most interesting things that they just covered was like the premise as far as how children are affected by the patriarchy. And she was talking about like eliminating the patriarchal oppression for women. But if you're a feminist, then you have to also apply that same sense as far as children, right? And I think I heard Ari talking about this one time, and then it made sense when I heard her say it. And she gave an example. And she said she was at a like a dinner or whatever, and they were listening to, there was this one woman who talked about like how she disciplines her children. And she said that she pinched her child until like he got in line, right? And he stopped acting out or whatever. And she was saying that other people were like praising her for like doing that towards the child. And she said she called them out and was like, think about it. If there was a man saying that he pinched his wife until she stopped, quote unquote, acting out or got in line, then everyone would be easily able to identify like that's abuse. But since it's something that happens with a child, it's excused and it's understandable. And I was like, holy shit, that makes so much sense, right? And so it talked about like how in order to be a feminist, you have to advocate for the true dismantling of the patriarchal oppressions, and you have to understand those patriarchal oppressions also apply to children, right? And you have to understand the violence that's enacted on children as well. And so that was something that I was just like, man, I fucking love how that was actually explained, right? But like this book is really good. I think the next book that I'm going, because I'm almost done with this, and I think the next book that I'm going to read is When God Was a Woman. I think I'm going to go straight from Feminism is Everybody to When God Was a Woman. So there's the update as far as where I am. That was in the chat for Elizabeth. Thank you so much for the 10. That was in the chat for Phil for the 2. Said Justin would need to prove that trajectory would have been changed before C19. The significance of C19 on a malnourishment means nothing if the path was headed that way. Like that's what I was saying as well. Oh yeah, I got you, Sean. Like I think like that's the big point that was trying to be made is like if you can't actually negate the trajectory, if we were already on that path, then you bringing up COVID means absolutely nothing. You said, what book was I talking about? The book is Feminism is for Everybody, Passionate Politics by Bell Hooks. Sean, you said you had a W.
Yeah, I don't know if I remembered to say W to Sharon for sending me $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. All Sharon said was thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry if I forgot to shout you out earlier. I forget sometimes. I'm sorry.
Hey, who do you have between Bell Hooks and Angela Davis?
You know, that is a hard choice. I would say Angela, but both of them, I'm not gonna speak ill of certain people.
I know.
But yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's a hard choice. It's a hard choice.
It is. I think they're different as well. Like the perspective and it's different, but I really enjoy both of them.
But you know, I'm an Alice Walker girly, so like
maybe I need to read more Alice Walker.
You should.
How about some recommendations? Ashanti Shakur. Yeah, I've heard Ashanti Shakur is dope as well. How about sending me some recommendations then?
I got you. I'll send you some stuff.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yep. Debbie's in chat for $4 for the $5 dono. Said, I worked during the entire pandemic as a grocery stocker at Kroger in Colorado. I promise people shop more during COVID because they had nothing else to do. Facts. Store shelves were empty due to lack of production and over purchasing. This kid is not smart. Much love to you as well. Yeah, like people were literally going to buy as much. The fact is, we didn't need as much toilet paper as we had, but everybody had to get so much toilet paper. Like that's just how it worked, right? Debbie's in chat for Ryan for the $3 donation, saying this guest only has feelings and no facts. Also, I posted a pro-Palestine TikTok recently describing how cruel and evil Israel has been in Palestine and Gaza. It only got 203 likes out of 1,284 views. It really isn't the result I expected at all. Ryan, what I will say is, like, views are weird, right? Like across the board, things are weird. I'll give you a great example. On Instagram, I posted a Instagram video. It has 307,000 views with almost 27,000 likes. I'm telling you, people posting is super strange, and people will watch it and won't engage with it. So don't let that discourage you. Just because people watching and doesn't engage with it, like don't let that get you off your square, because I posted some videos and it's gotten like 200-300 views. Like the fact that you posted a video and it's got, you know, almost 1,300 views is huge. So don't feel bad about that at all. Debbie's in the chat. Thank you so much for the 3. Debbie's in the chat for Jason for the 2. Said, I know Sean is cooking and all, but Justin's condescending to Sean is making me hope we'll kick fun soon. Yeah, I just got him out here. Fuck that guy. Debbie's in the chat for J House for the 5. Said, why didn't your arrogant ass bring groceries to your grandparents or your deadbeat ass parents? God damn, J House. Followed by another 5 that says someone needs to call Adult Protective Services to check on your grandparents. Facts. And one more 5 that said, we all just watched Justin learn in 2026 that severely sick people might lose weight because they can't keep food down. Facts. Fucking facts. W's in the chat for Roxy. What up, Rox? Said, can I get an audio book dance, Roxy? Only for you. Audio book, audio book, audio book, audio. W's in the chat for Roxy. W's in the chat for Rebel for the $2 donation. Said, whenever people say they spank kids, it makes me wonder at what age do they stop? Probably at the age where the kid can spank back. Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about that is because I'm someone who grew up in the era where like that was acceptable and all this other stuff. And I never got a bunch of spankings, but like people didn't bat an eye on at like kids being spanked, right? And then I think the big thing that we learned is, or we should always keep in mind, is the more we learn, the more we should be willing to adjust. And once like studies started to be published and people started to educate more on like the negative implications and how that actually exists with the type of disciplinary actions that we take towards children and then also better things that we can do, we should have actually just switched in, right? So the people that still lean into, like the guy I was talking to the other day that actually, it's like, well, you know, I do this and I do that. I'm like, yeah, just because you were raised that way doesn't mean that's how we should raise our children. So I think it's just the whole thing. W's in the chat for Susan for the $5 super chat to say, why does the caller sound like a Yardry character in a YouTube video? I don't know who Yardry is, so W's. W's in the chat for bruh for the $1.99 super chat to say, Justin, stop interrupting, irritating AF. It was super overstimulating. And again, I think it may just be because I'm not feeling awesome. But the fact that he just kept doing that, it like, when I tell you, I felt like my heart was beating faster. Like it really, really, really bothered me. And I wanted to like lose my shit, but I am trying not to do that. Especially when because Sean will put up with the worst people. Like Sean, when I tell you, Sean and Jeff will absolutely put up with the worst people. I don't understand it, but they are willing to debate the worst people that you can find and like just continue. You said Solid too. Sometimes Solid has more of a limit. Solid is more accepting to me because Solid will start like getting with the shits. But Sean and Jeff will debate the most insufferable people down when I'm just like, fuck these people. Like, fuck these people. Hugo said, racism is your problem, and then did like the peace out sign. Hugo, that's because you don't understand things. That's because, matter of fact, here, I sent you a request. And you don't follow me, so I don't give a fuck if you quote unquote peace out. Oh, don't run now. Don't be a fucking coward now. Accept that request. Accept that request. That made you feel uncomfortable. That made you feel uncomfortable, and that's why you said that. And Bradley said you don't tolerate any of them. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Really quickly, guys, I want you guys to see who the fuck just had the issue with the prompt that said, white people, racism is your problem. I want you guys to see this. This is the person that had a problem with the prompt and said, peace out. This is Hugo. That's Hugo. This is the person that felt uncomfortable by the prompt. Hugo, I completely understand why it made you feel uncomfortable. Makes sense why that made you feel uncomfortable. Life's tough. Get a helmet. Anywho, Debbie's in the chat for Terry for the $5 super chat to say, most people ate and gained weight during COVID. Most people were malnourished. If people were malnourished, it wasn't due to COVID. Facts. Like that was a whole thing. That's literally a whole thing. Debbie's in the chat. Let me see. Let me check Twitch. For Manders, One Mighty Pen for the one cheered bit. Like videos and live stuff at Sean. Exactly. When Sean posts over on YouTube, you guys get on that shit. All right? Get on it. All right. We're all caught up, guys. I think I got, Hugo reported me for bullying. We got a 10-minute bullying because I put Hugo's ugly face on the screen. I don't care, Hugo. I don't care. You can cry about it. We're going to get out of here, guys. We're going to get out of here. I'll be back later this evening. I'm going to go take a nap and try to lock in and be back later. Let's go.
You stepped in a box. Now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here. You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in shame. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats to get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit. Yeah.
Hey, Debbie's in the chat for the chat. Debbie's in the chat for the chat. Guys, hey, make sure that you guys hit that follow button up there at the top before you guys leave out. Please, please, please. Also, like the VOD so it pushes out more. Please and thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. We will be back later for Shiggity. I'm positive of it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. I love you all, and as always, peace.